We are live, I guess. I thought we were supposed to have a countdown, but apparently we didn't. This is the Comic Hall and Roundtable discussion. I will be your host this evening. My name is Al. Yeah, we didn't do the countdown. I think Matt changed some stuff. But thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here.
This was your opportunity to slide that Gangrel video in at the intro.
You know what, man? That was a perfect opportunity, Sean. Maybe if I could figure out how to do it before the end of the show, we'll throw it in on the tail end. But thanks everyone in the chat for joining us. Today we have Sean Stay Puft 1983. He is actually watching the SWV Escape Versus show. We got Chris Outcast United on IG down below me. And then we have to his right, Big Remo, which celebrated a birthday earlier this week.
Happy birthday again.
I wish you happy birthday on the messenger.
I seen it. I was going to tell you about that on the video. You snuck that.
Yeah, man. I gave you a shout out on the Hall video, too, man.
You know? I was like, oh, wait. No, he did it.
Yeah, man. You know, I know you were partying like it was 1999. You know what I'm saying?
So, you know. Oh, he just slid that in there, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, brother.
Hey, man, you know, anytime I can do that, man, if I know your birthday, whatever, man, you know, we got to celebrate each other, bro, because, I mean, we ain't getting no younger, you know what I'm saying? And one rotation around the sun every year is always a good thing, man, especially if you're in your right mind when you wake up. I ain't trying to get philosophical on people tonight. I'm just saying.
I mean, I let my energy I expended a lot of energy during this whole pandemic because I was like, as soon as I get out, I ain't gonna sit in the house no more. I've been out and about ever since I got vaccinated.
Man, you know what? I ain't gotten to that cross that bridge yet, but you know, I went to it earlier today.
It ain't for everybody, but like I'm saying, like I know my health problems are ridiculous. And I don't need to add anything to them until I get a chance to fix them. So let me go and give myself a little bit extra time to move and groove through this whatever it is until I can figure out what I need to do in order to pick it up to where I don't need to get the bad boy. So
I can dig it, man. We in that same boat, bro. Because you know,
man. So, but I still mask up. I still mask up. I still wash my hands. You know, more than often. I keep these, the alcohol hand wipe things. I'm constantly, if I touch something, I'm cleaning it off, and I think that's what kept me good this whole time. And the vaccine is probably more for my mental.
Understood. Well, happy birthday, nonetheless, man. I hope you enjoyed yourself. How's everybody this evening? Everybody good?
Doing good.
Great. Well, Matthew Odom should be with us shortly. I'm not sure about Xavier and any other game, but we're going to get started nonetheless. And basically what we're going to do, we're going to start the show what we've been normally doing with a segment called You Must Be Out Your Damn Mind. We only have 2 entries tonight, but these entries are entertaining to say the least. The first one was something that Matt sent me a couple of days ago. Bam.
A 2-0?
Right. Now, I want everybody to pay attention to that title. The title says The Crow, #1, Manufacturer, and I believe they spelled manufacturer wrong. I didn't spell check it.
Oh, that's already a strike against it, bro.
Right. Yeah, right, exactly. You can't spell right.
You can't spell.
Matter of fact, I know for a fact they didn't spell it just phonetically looking at it. Mm-hmm. But check this out, man. Manufacture error, first print, rarest crow, and then they had the audacity to put Blue Label. Now, for anybody that collects comic books and has a few slabs, know that you're gonna see a Blue Label on all of your slabs. So, what is this Blue Label supposed to do that's gonna make this book any extra special? Because all of them come down unless you get a signature, or unless the book is restored, or unless it's missing some pages, it's going to typically be your tried and true blue.
Now, so unless that is a bronze Golden Age or Silver Age, a 2.0 modern book should not be that fucking price. I don't care how rare that book is.
Man,
Now,
I'm telling you.
I have a couple books like that I'm gonna get slabbed, but it's just because I've had them since I was like in 3rd or 4th grade. So they're probably like 2.0s or whatever like that. But that's just for I don't want them to get any more messed up than they already are.
Yeah.
But I would not be selling them, first off. And secondly, this seems like more of that type of play. Like, this is sentimental to whereas that's how much it means to him or her, because that book is not worth $2,900 in a 2.0. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
No.
You know, that's a sentimental book. Like, keep that.
But see, my thing, and I agree with that, because I have a few books that I've graded that I consider sentimental that I'm more than likely never going to grade. I mean, never going to sell.
Exactly.
But the audacity, Blue Label, like apparently they are pandering to somebody that has no clue of what they're looking for, because the Blue Label
or somebody told them that book was worth that amount of money, and they don't understand that it has to be in a 9.8 or whatever, you know what I'm saying, in order to fetch that type of money. That's more like somebody gave them that book and said, yeah, man, this book is worth $3,000. And they're like, well, I'm going to go sell it then. It's worth $3,000. I'm going to go put it on $3,000 and it's going to sell. No. I mean, now, if this book sells for $3,000, then that means a 9.8 is a $20,000 book.
Easily.
I find that hard to believe, but this book came out in February '89. So it is less than 40 years old. It's what, 32 years old?
Yeah.
So nah, man, not no 29.
Off-white to white page.
I mean,
nah.
Unless Brandon Lee signed it. I don't see that.
Yeah, I don't see that.
I don't see that.
Like I said, that would be something. And I if I purchased that book in '88 or whatever when it came out, and it's been with me through all my, thick and thin, and that's the condition that it's in, and I'm slabbing books now, and I want to get it slabbed, that book is going to get slabbed regardless of the condition, but it ain't going to leave my house.
Right, that's a keep at home.
Yeah, that's the man cave book that, I had this book since I was 7 years old, you know what I mean? Like, I bought this. I got a Ninja Turtles book that I bought off the rack, and it's been through hell and high water. I taped it because my friend took it and was tracing it in class, and took it out of my desk and traced on it, and you know what I mean. I've had that book. It's got tape on it, but I might get it graded. But I know that if it gets a 1, I don't care what it gets. I just want it. I don't want it to get ruined past what it already is, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's just personally, like, if I would want to do that eventually, you know what I'm saying? I'll pay the little funky $30 to get it, you know what I'm saying, graded, because I don't care what the grade is. I just don't want it to get ruined, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but other than that, like, no, I would never pay that price for that book.
It's ridiculous.
Well, whopping $29.99.99 with 29 watchers watching it. And $15 expedited shipping.
Those watchers just want to see if it sells, because they probably get 9.8s. They got 9.8s and they want to know what this book is going to sell for.
If you get away with it, then I can get away with it.
Yeah, I'll put mine up tomorrow for 20 racks.
Well, if you think this is asinine, I want y'all to hold on to your horses and keep your sphincter tight, because this one's going to be a doozy. I just out of the blue went to eBay to look for just Amazing Spider-Man 300, and I just wanted to gauge how much is currently going. That's one book that I may want to pick up at some point in time, but I'm not really sure. But it's one of those books that I don't have to have. Nonetheless, somebody is selling a triad of books, and
not for that. You're crazy. Are those all 9.9s?
Those are 9.9.
Oh, wow.
But the thing of it is, though, I actually checked before the show, actually over at my sister's, on a 9.8. Now, 9.8 for this book sold for $8,500, in April.
Yeah, but these other two, the 289 or 298 and 299 are not that much money. They're not even 1,000, I would think, right?
Exactly. So
even at a 99, I don't think that they would be over $1,000.
Right.
But the thing of it is that the person, whoever's attempting to sell this, is trying to sell these 3 books on the strength of them being 9.9s.
I mean, I get it.
$349,999.99. So if you break that down per book, that's at least $112, $113,000 per book.
It's ridiculous.
Not going for that.
That's a house.
It's just Spider-Man. Like, that's not.
I'm shopping for a new house right now, man, and that's a house right now.
Does it say what year those were graded?
They look old.
Yeah, it look kind of old. Let's see.
They gotta be.
I mean, it's easy to see. Like, you can go. Don't they have like a census you can look at and see when they were graded? Or
you know what? Let me see here.
Because I'm sure there can't be that many 9.9s on the
those are like the rarest of the rare.
Yeah, especially for those books.
And I love how he puts down not 9.8. Like, somebody apparently has made that mistake.
Yeah.
And he's had to
correct them. They're like, don't insult me.
Right. How dare you?
Hey, you insult my 9.9, man. With your little 9.8 peasantries.
I'm actually checking now on another screen to see if I can pull it up as far as the consensus. The 300.
Just so many unfortunate things now.
Well, you gotta have a password for CGC, so I can't check. But apparently, there is a way to check and see when it was graded. I just found this price amazing, man.
It's because it is.
And they're killing. And for the record, SWV is killing Escape right now.
They playing with you cry, man.
Here, tell them, Sean. Tell them.
Oh man,
tell them.
I mean, it's SWV, man. I'm like, Escape has no chance. They play the upbeat song, and then SWV.
Hey, she looks so good. Hey, she looks so chocolate right now. It ain't even funny, man.
I know, right?
Coco.
The lighting's a little bit off, but she look good, bro. Yeah, she look good, bro. But yeah, I'm trying to.
Who paying that price? Like, that's
not that won't. It better not sell.
Nobody should buy that. I mean, it's ridiculous.
I mean,
33 watchers, and they are giving it to you for free, but it's 4-day shipping, which I would be.
Man, that free shipping don't mean shit with that price they got up on there, man.
Right.
Like, hell no.
At that price, you better deliver it to my door.
Nah, for that price, you better teleport it to me as soon as that payment.
That better come with Todd McFarlane for a week.
Right.
To draw whatever I want him to draw.
I need him to draw my life.
He better know how to cook on a grill too, because if he don't, then he has some hell to pay.
He better know how to make ramen noodles, because after paying that much, you ain't buying no food.
Yeah.
That's a ridiculous price for 3 comic books that, don't get me wrong, yeah, they're good comic books, but I don't even recognize the other 2 covers. I only recognize the 300 cover because it's been, reimagined a million times since Todd McFarlane originally did it.
That's like the trio of Venom.
I'm surprised he ain't trying to add 301 to up the price on it.
Yeah, I'm surprised too, actually.
I mean, at $349, man, that's a lot of bread, man, for those 3 books.
That would have been a lot of bread for like $5 or $6 grand.
Yeah.
No,
because you figure if it's they said what, it was $8 grand. I mean, somebody might buy it. I mean, they might buy it. One of those, somebody's gonna buy that.
I mean, the 9.8 sold for roughly $8,100. 9.9 can't go for that much more. Maybe $2,000-$3,000 more, if that.
Right.
I don't see it jumping up incrementally from $8,000 to $100,000 just because it's a 9.9.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen like the biggest gap is like from a 9.6 to a 9.8 price wise. Right. That's a huge gap.
Yeah.
But this shit here,
I'm not paying it. I don't care. I don't even need to look at the census. I don't care how many 9.9s are.
Brad says 10 of 9.9s is 300 on census.
9.9 is 300.
That's what Brad says in the chat.
Okay, well then, no, I'm not buying it.
No.
What's up, Jason, Steve?
Yeah, I wouldn't buy them. It's not rare.
Right.
Nope, it is not rare, and that's why this particular segment is called
You must
be
be
out
out
your
your damn
damn
mind.
mind.
Because they gotta be to be asking that kind of price for those comics. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, great comics, good story, amazing art, not worth $350,000. There are so many other comics I would spend that money on across the board that it's ridiculous. Like, just my top 10 list probably don't. Well, actually, it does because there are a couple on there that but still.
So who that?
Still wouldn't be spending that kind of money.
350 G's, and they're all yours for free shipping. Well, I think that last entry was a good enough showing for that particular segment. So next on the docket is a question that Big Remo just brought up, and we would love to have participation from the chat. And thank you all for showing up tonight. Question of the night. Would you be prone to buy from a comic shop that prices books while you shop? Remo, if you can give the people a brief synopsis of what happened to you, please, sir.
So earlier this afternoon here West End Standard Time, we were at the comic book store, and while we were shopping, there was an employee of the shop who was actually going through the back issue bins while we were going through them, and he was taking books out and pricing them according to. There was another gentleman behind, like the other, like it was all of the long boxes, and there was a front register, and then there's an area where they just kind of sort the books, and he was back there, and it was him, and then he had a guy who was going through the back issue bins while people are shopping, myself included, and we're taking books out and repricing them.
Okay, folks. So you heard it from firsthand source.
He ain't gonna do that. He ain't gonna
do that. He probably send you a message cussing you out, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
Chris. Look at that, seeing those 9.9s was like, hold up. Yeah, you are.
Hey, you know what? Oh, he might have accepted it. You like,
look at that like calculator, and he's like,
hey,
he might be like, yeah, I'll go ahead and take it. Yeah,
right.
I ain't paying $350, but I'll pay $10.
I just want to shout out who that. Not only did he become the #1 contender on the hunt, but he became a new tag team champion with Captain Comics. They defeated the Banger Bros to win the tag titles on the hunt.
So he done went back.
I've seen that before. Who that has some? He got some lava in that room.
Yeah, he do. He got some.
Yeah,
he got some.
I've seen some of the stuff. I done seen it with my own 2 eyes.
You seen that Peanuts book, right? You seen that Peanuts book?
Oh, that Peanuts. I was like, I can't vote against Peanuts.
That one, I was like, whoa.
I can't vote against Peanuts, bro. Charlie Brown and Snoopy.
Gotta go with him.
So, Chris, based on that situation, would you continue to shop at a comic book store that are pricing books while you are shopping in real time?
No, because when you run a comic book store, when you run any retail store, that kind of thing happens after the store closes. So me coming in to you, especially with you just opening basically. So it's been like 30 minutes since you opened and I'm coming in and you got an employee out on the floor repricing stuff as I'm shopping your comic books. Tells me a couple of things. One, it tells me that obviously you think you got something in your back issue bins that's worth some money, which there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, nice. Which there's nothing wrong with that, but if I'm in the store while you're doing this, then there's potential that the book I came in to get, that who knows, yesterday when I stopped in or last time I stopped in, was $1 in the dollar bin. You now about to pull it and put a $5 price tag or more on it because you found out that it went up in price, which that's your prerogative to do. But in front of a customer though, then that's not right to me as a customer. I feel like that you're trying to rob my wallet. I'm already set to come in here and spend X amount of dollars because of what I'm already going to be picking up. But then to come in and find you marking up all your prices on stuff while I'm about to spend X amount of dollars, that's like a slap in the face to me as a customer. Is what that feels like. You're sitting here changing these prices, and it also tells me that you aren't willing to have your employees work a little bit longer to get this kind of stuff done. Because this is the one day of the week y'all close. When you put in restock, this is stuff you should have gotten taken care of. And if you didn't get it taken care of when new comic books came in, then you should have gotten it taken care of after you close. But obviously you don't care enough or can't afford to, which when you're doing this, people aren't coming. So maybe you can't afford to have employees work late because don't nobody want to shop in your store because you're constantly jacking up prices while customers are in the store. Like that's ridiculous. That's just as bad as when you find the comic and you ask somebody what price it is, they'll let me go check eBay. So it's almost the same thing to me. That's exactly what that is. You, instead of just selling me the book for the price you got on it, you're gonna jack up the price or go look at the price to get a better price on it to see if you can make more money off of me than what I'm already ready to give you. And that's just rude in the customer service business to me as a customer. That's just ridiculous.
I agree. Sean?
I'm like, don't reprice your stuff while I'm in there digging for stuff. I prefer that if you're going to reprice it, either you get to the shop an hour or so early and reprice what you can reprice, and then, do that again until you get everything repriced, or just, don't bother doing it at all. Just leave the prices that you got, and, go through some of it, but don't do it like consistently while people are there. And I've never experienced that. All the shops I went to, they never come and reprice stuff while there's people there digging in boxes. So, it's something that I just heard about from Remo. I prefer to, have your stuff already priced and just sell at what you
I've never seen it
want to sell.
This is the first time I've ever seen it. Like I've heard them talking about it at different shops. I've heard, and I've even experienced going up to the checkout and having them change the price or tell me they're going to check, not honor whatever price is on it. We're going to, or if there's no price, they're going to look it up.
Right.
I've experienced that, but not in real time as I'm going through the back issue bins. I got a guy next to me pulling books out and he's not buying them. He's just repricing them, which, like I said, I've never experienced it. So I didn't even know how to think, but I don't know that I necessarily would appreciate somebody kind of going over, like, while I'm going through books, kind of taking them out, like, almost over my shoulder, like, basically going through the bins, like, while I'm going through them. You know what I mean? Like, I always give people space. If I see a guy going through the back issue bins, I'm kind of going to wait and go look somewhere else until he might get further down, and then I'll start looking. I don't want to be right next to him, ahead of him, or right behind him, you know what I'm saying, right on him. I just want to give people their space because I know how it is. You're going through, you might be like, oh, yeah, let me go grab that one. So you want to step back and go back a couple ways, like, let him, get ahead. But when the guy's sitting there pulling the stuff out, I'm just like, ooh. It just didn't sit right with me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not hating on it, and I'm not saying it's wrong. It's just, I made me feel like when I used to dig for records and I'd be going through and I'd find something and and somebody I'm digging with is watching what I'm doing and want to take the record before I grab it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's James Brown. Let me grab. Like, can I grab it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm in that crate. Let me get that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go ahead and go look somewhere else. You know, let me get that. Let me get all these right quick, and let me go through whatever I don't pick. You can have.
Well, I'm gonna jump to the chat right quick. Who that said, I am okay with that. I am not okay when you do it when I check out.
Yeah, that's the worst.
And then he goes on to say, don't change the price when I'm about to pay.
Yeah.
And Barbarian says, most shops I go to don't have employees.
There's one owner with a bunch of collections, just like on a wing and a prayer, hoping nobody finds any keys. Huh?
He's out there just winging it.
Right. Barbarian also said if it was in the bin today, it was there yesterday. You snooze, you lose. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree with that. Now, one thing I know, I go to a certain shop that I pulled gold out of his shop, and not once does he go back and change prices. He don't pull books. Like, he's actually add to them. You know what I mean? Like, I cleared out his back issue Moon Knights, and he went and filled them right back up. I cleared out his Master of Kung Fu. He filled it right back up. You know what I mean?
That's what you should do.
Yeah, man. Like, I'm tired of going to shops and the tabs are empty. You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever books you want to look, they're just empty. And it's like, dude, you got long boxes on top of long boxes. I see them, and they're stacked up next to the behind the counter. Like, put them books out. Like, what you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
just holding on to them.
Yeah, it's like you're gonna have back issues of old books, and you're gonna have back issues of current books, because every month that you don't sell, don't leave them on the counter. Put them in the back issue bins. They'll sell.
Somebody's gonna come in there with that.
Common Law said preach on. And he also, and thanks for joining us, Comics at Law. And he also said there's a store in Miami where the guy always looks up prices when you get something. And that is very annoying. Yeah.
I am not balling there. Who that?
Stone Cold says, Puff, reveal yourself.
They getting Stay Puff today, man. Not me.
Puff,
they get the Puff today.
Yep.
Spoken for. Welcome.
Hey, man.
What's up, fellas?
She's saying Cole sitting down, bro.
Yeah, I see that.
She ain't even standing up.
What's going on, fella?
What's happening?
That was, man. What are your thoughts on this, man? Thank you for joining us, man.
It's a load of shit.
I just want to reply to Barbarian. I'm like, it's all fine, but do that shit off hours, bro. That's all I got to say. Because my shop, they stay extra hours to put the new books up, and they when they got a collection in, they price their stuff off hours.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
my shop will do it, and they got buddies that'll come and help them do it.
Man, you know. So why the fuck do y'all have y'all stores closed on Mondays and Tuesdays and shit? That's when you're supposed to do that shit. Yeah. They're playing Magic the Gathering. That's what they're sitting there doing. And Flesh and Blood and bullshit. And then when you walk in there and buy something because ain't nobody been in the store in a whole damn 2 or 3 weeks, that's when they go to digging up, looking and shit. Yeah. Y'all know this routine. We talk about this shit all the time. This is a load of crap.
Yeah, on top of that, they can choose a day like a Monday, a day that they don't really get a lot of customers. You close that day, go through your bins, mark up your prices that you want to mark up, and then you're back in business Tuesday, and then Wednesday come around. So
or wait until there's like nobody in the shop at the time when there's a lull. Like once there's a lull, then have that.
A lot of these stores ain't getting no damn business anyway, so ain't no damn excuse for them not to do it. They can do that.
Exactly.
Shit.
That's true.
You know, I'm just calling like it is, man. You go to some of these stores, man. You see 1-2 people, and either they sit. It's a ghost town, man. Look, man.
They sitting there watching movies.
They should be pricing their books. If the store is running the store properly, man, they should be checking those books maybe once every 2 weeks or once so often, and do that shit on close time. Don't be doing that shit in the store when somebody buying and you just stealing, marking up books as the person. As you get ready to head down the section, the book it starts from low and go to high as you heading over. That's some bullshit, man. No, I can't jive with that, man. Fellas, I'm sorry I got my camera off. I'm actually working on an assignment, but I said, I'm gonna hop on my headset, so we gonna make it happen.
Got employees dodging in front of you to get to the book with the price gun in their hand, trying to outrace you.
Yep, they hurry up switching them dates on that damn thing. They hurry up trying to change the price. It's a load of bullshit.
I think that's a janky practice. I mean, honestly, like if you don't take the time out to do it, I mean, that's like we were talking before the show started. And I worked in retail for years, and typically what happens whenever there's price changes, those changes are made before or after the store opens. And if somebody happens to catch something that's on sale or something that's priced differently on the shelf when the price went up, guess what? You have to honor that price that's on that product. So
you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised at how many stores don't do that.
Right.
And let me tell you something else. I start watching stores. Certain days I start watching stores. I watch them on Friday and I watch them on Monday if they open on Monday, because that's going to tell me all I need to know. Because Friday, all the spec sheets drop. And on Monday, that's when you start seeing prices. Between Monday and Wednesday is when you start seeing price increase.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a store here that shall be remain nameless, that they've completely wiped it out. They've completely cleaned it out. I went through there. They even got tabs and shit now. So I said, oh yeah, they have went through these stores like a fine-tooth comb. They are looking for folk, like they're trying to figure out who is the higher power. And I'm here to tell you, they can kiss my ass. If I'm going to go through that bin and look at some of the books. Some of them books so damn overpriced. You can see them in the front. They so overpriced.
Right.
And on top of that, they beat the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. Like a dog chewed them up. I told y'all, and I'm gonna say it again. If you all do not want to sell these books, you're more than welcome to put up velvet rope, offer slush puppies, hot popcorn, Annihilators, Kit Kats, Twix,
it's an exhibit.
Mars bars. Hey, I'm going down the line. We're going honey bun, cinnamon bun, Twizzlers, Skittles,
nachos,
Jolly Ranchers, chili cheese fries.
Peppermint patties.
Yeah, peppermint patties. Anything, and just call that shit a museum. I for the love of God don't understand how stores they're not running, how these people are running stores around some of these places, man. How are you pricing books that you should have already done? If you are on your shit, your shit shouldn't have a price tag from 2006 on that.
Nope.
That's your fault. That's your fault. You got it 2006. I told y'all about 3 months ago. I said I bought a book at the price that you priced it at. So if you priced it in 2006 for $1.50 and it's going for $3,000, well, damn it, that's your fault. Don't get mad at me because I saw it for $1.50.
Your fault.
Yeah.
Your fault.
They're already marked up as it is. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
yeah, they buying these things. Look, man, y'all in the group. Y'all saw the picture of the honky tonk man yesterday.
I was waiting for that to come out.
Folks buying these lots almost at $20, man. This some old fuckery, man. I'm using my R-rated rap voice tonight. This some fuckery. You go in these stores, they paying $20 for 3 loan boxes, 9.8, and then they come to you and they want to upmarket to the highest price when you know they ain't what they paid at. And in this case, yesterday I saw a collection where it looked like it came out of Pigpen from Charlie Brown house. And then I guarantee those same books will be slabbed at the highest price possible. At the highest price possible. I promise you this. And that's a lot of shit that's going on in these stores. They're buying this shit at pennies, at beanstalks and ground crackers, and then they turn around, and then they come to us, it's the consumer, and then expect us to pay these absorbent prices. And we're tired of it. Consumers are tired. I'm gonna tell y'all this again. I saw Larry put it in the group last week or the week before last. The Comic Cons are on the way. They're on the way back. They're on the way back. And I'm here to tell you, when these cons start hitting, these stores gonna start hurting because people are not gonna be consumed with having to go to that particular LCS in their area. They're gonna be able to get up, take a flight, and go somewhere or drive somewhere and be able to find a good deal.
That's it.
And it was crazy because while I was in there, this dude, he bought Wolverine 3 and 4 up off the wall. And I mean, people were buying. I mean, look, like I said, it's not my local LCS. I just happened to go there today. And like I said, I mean, maybe the people are used to it. Maybe they're fair. I mean, it didn't seem like anybody was
surprised.
Yeah, it was like, it was like normal, and everybody was just kind of like going about their business. So I just, I'm saying, I'm more, like I said, it's not my normal LCS, so it could be very well how they get down, and maybe they give out so many deals that people don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? So I just thought it was odd. It was like,
man, but when it comes to retail, if you ain't especially with comic book stores, when it comes to retail, it's a lot like a job interview. That first impression means a lot for a customer who's just coming to your store for the first time. That kind of stuff keeps people, especially you drove 45 minutes. This was their opportunity to make you a repeat customer. Yeah. Even if it's only once a month, a 45-minute drive, you drop $200 on a bunch of comic books or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, because they had stuff. I mean, I was definitely like happy with what I saw. You know what I mean? Like, this was the opportunity for them to make a customer potentially for life, and I would potentially drive back maybe once a week. You know what I'm saying? I go there for. It's not like I it's like out of my way. It's just now I would have I would go there more often. You know what I'm saying? And I just thought I was just like, damn, like. Like Puff said, like when you get a collection in, exactly. That was I was like, that was on the wall, and I was like, he was like, oh yeah, I sold 1 and 2. I'm like, well, 3 and 4 is like that should be in the bin. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right? How much you want for them, Remo?
Huh?
How much you want for them?
It was less than 100. It was like yeah, it was like I want to. I don't want to lie, man, but I want to say I think it was like 70 or
70.
Yeah, 70 or like
3 and 4.
Yeah.
Come on, man,
bro.
It was definitely not $10-$20.
Man, Al, how many times have we seen that book?
Oh no, I know. I recently got one.
Al, look at Al's face. Al, no.
The ones I got were damn near 9.8 candidates, and I paid less than $20 for each one. So
I need that to be lined with adamantium.
But see, and what Remo just said is something that we did this show. We did a show. What was it, about a month, 2 months ago, Al? No, it was about a month ago. What at what price?
Yeah.
Are you willing to what cost?
Yeah.
Are you willing to lose customer? And this is a classic example.
Mm-hmm.
The man drove 45 minutes, went to a store, goes into store, excited to go in store, walks out disappointed. So now what is he going to go? Well, no, he's on the panel with us telling everybody on the internet about piss post service.
Yeah.
There you go.
And who that? They weren't even like, I mean, the 3 was probably the best out of the 2. 4 is always hard. But it was definitely not a above $20 book, either one of them. 30 was pushing it, especially for those issues. Like, that much for those issues.
That's ridiculous.
Nobody wants to pay that much for 3 and 4.
Ridiculous.
Well, the tribe has spoken. And I think the consensus is clear that that is a no-no amongst the panel. So thanks everyone for chiming in. Next topic. DC Superman news.
Oh shit.
I am voluntarily going to go last.
I'll go first. All
right.
The first thing.
Hold up, man. I know you chopping at the bit. Let me get a little preface first. You ready to go? You like those chompers on Super Mario, just ready to tan his ass. The chomper chains. That's what they call them. Okay. So for those that don't know,
Detroit Reds hair.
Say what now?
Does he have Detroit Reds hair?
He might.
So he
now,
has.
For those that don't know,
or is that more like a Stoney Jackson?
No,
I'm trying to get it look because I'm not into DC, so I got to give him vibe before I.
Hey man, Stoney Jackson had a Jerry curl, man. So
well,
this cat look like an off-brand Benson. That's
like the Sunny Spoon window.
Man.
Hey, y'all, hold up. Y'all leave the man alone. He ain't do nothing to y'all.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no, I'm just trying to look because it looked like he got a comb. Well, you know what I'm saying? It's like a comb over. Do he got a comb over?
No, he's supposed to have a natural, man. He probably just went to the barbershop right before they drew that picture.
I'm like,
but I don't know, man. It's the artist's interpretation. Okay. So
he don't look like this in the comic.
Yes, he does look like this in the comic book. I don't know if it's a comb over, it's a relaxer, texturizer, Sammy Davis Jr. Like I have no idea.
I'm trying to give him context. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So let me put some context into what's going on. Okay, so DC, in all their infinite wisdom, for some reason has decided to drop news a few days ago that there was a movie being filmed about Black Superman. Now, for those that don't know, Black Superman his name is Kal. This is an alternate universe, by the way. His name is Kal-El. He's an interesting character. Pretty much the same, and Chris, correct me if I'm wrong, but pretty much the same backstory as the mainstream Kal-El in the mainstream DC universe, except of course he's a black man, and in the universe that he's actually in, he became president of the United States. Yep. A while back, his book was really fizzling. Wasn't nothing going on with this book, and all of a sudden, and this was way before this news dropped a few days ago. The book just blew up out of nowhere. People were trying to sell this book, his first appearance. So I can only imagine now, since DC announced this, that the book is more than likely shot the shit up to the moon and back. Fortunately, I have a copy. I was going to look for a second copy, but I'm like, never mind right now. Okay, so there was an announcement that DC was going to do a Black Superman. Twitter and all the other social medias and the internet went into an uproar because they thought that they were canceling what's his face? Not Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yeah, Cavill. Yeah. Which this particular article states that DC's Black Superman film reportedly not part of DCEU. So that leads me to believe that this particular movie, the Superman movie, is going to be akin to the Joker movie. So I just want everybody's thoughts on it. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna let you go, Matt. Honestly, DC, they need to regroup because they're all over the place, in my opinion. They don't know what to do. They're running around like chickens with their heads cut off. And I think that they just have people in a boardroom with some $5 Little Caesars hot and ready on the table with some Dr. Thunder from Walmart just sitting down trying to figure out what they want to do. What are we going to do? Because there's another piece of this that we're going to get our next segment. We're going to get into this. This to me lets me know how at this point pathetic DC is. Now, don't get me wrong. I like DC comics there. I still collect some of the comics. I two of my favorite characters in all the comic books is from DC Comics. But to quote David Chappelle, DC is fucking up. It does not make any sense to me for them to put this particular movie out just for the sake of putting it out. And the only reason why I feel like they're doing this is because of the current culture and the current climate they're in. And if that is the case, I have problems with that. I really do. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna let Matt go ahead and do what he needs to do, and we'll just go down the line and get everybody else's thoughts. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, before Matt, I just need to say SWV played the entirety of Human Nature right there. And they sung that shit.
Puff, you see them shorts?
Yeah.
I'm over here like, good Lord.
They over here lusting while we trying to talk about comic books, y'all.
Hey, we can't help it, bro. Yeah. All right, go ahead, Matt.
Let me ask y'all a question. Who the hell asked for this? Who asked for this? What person got up and drove down to DC and knocked on the door and said, hey, man, we need Black Superman when you already got one? Why y'all can do Steel? Why couldn't y'all do something else? This is DC's attempt to try to roll out a Black Panther. You're not fooling me. I see this. DC is what DC looking like. They look like the New York fucking Jets. They look like a team that is in disarray. They try to find any way they can to be relevant.
He's in the Jets.
I mean, how bad, how desperate has this organization got? You roll out a shit show that you saw with Justice League. And all accounts, if anybody has some sense on their board, they would sit down and they would have said, you know what? Let's focus on some of these other superheroes we got. For over a year, we talked about Static Shock,
Icon, Hardware, Blood Syndicate.
Blood Syndicate. We talked about this. That was their opportunity there to focus on the Black Dollar. And I think that was who that put that in the comment, the Black Dollar. And so now you say, well, we want Black Superman. Bro, ain't nobody, Black Superman wasn't barely selling it when it was in the comic books.
He ain't making no waves.
That's what I'm saying now. So who is crying out for this? And I'm a black man and I don't care for this. So what does that tell you?
And you know what's funny about this? This come like over a week after Sam Wilson become Captain America, and they said he's gonna be in Captain America 4.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And that's the thing. Like, to me, I don't care what race the character is. I like him regardless. So you don't have to make anything black for me to like it. You just got to make a good story. Black Panther, I didn't even care if he was black. You know what I'm saying?
He could be Blue Panther. I still would have liked him.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, man, DC has a horrible habit of trying to, they're doing it, let's do it too. Let's try this too. Instead of pacing themselves, for putting out a good Superman movie should be the first thing they do. That should be the first thing on their agenda, is a good Superman movie. Because I have yet to watch a good Superman movie. Outside of we talking 1980, kneel before Zod.
I'm with Barbarian though. I want to see a Static Shock. I'm good with animated or full motion. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is out of order. When I saw that, that's why I didn't respond back to you in our group, Chris. Because when I saw that, I said, you know what? That's no need of me even talking about this Saturday. Because I know we're gonna talk. So this is ridiculous, man. When you see this kind of stuff, go ahead,
Al. And let me just say this, and I'm gonna let you finish and let everybody else speak. You hit a point, and I can understand who that's coming from, but the travesty to this is the fact that back last year, was it not DC that said that they were going to be rolling out Milestone again, right?
Yep.
They were going to be rolling out Milestone. They were going to be rolling out certain characters. They mentioned Hardware, they mentioned Static, and they mentioned Icon. If they really, 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 really wanted Icon to work, if you pull in this Black Superman that really hardly nobody knows about except for comic book diehard DC collectors on the DC spectrum, because a lot of Marvel collectors don't know anything about him. But if you're willing to pull him out of the hat, the magic rabbit hat, why not just do Icon?
Same story.
That's what I'm saying. That's
It's
what I'm saying.
It's the same story, but this particular character was actually geared towards a certain demographic, which were black people. And the notoriety of Icon is probably around the same as the Black Superman. So why not just go out on a limb? If you're gonna say, well, we're gonna do a movie on Calvin Ellis, which is his name, or presumably Calvin Ellis, why not just do one on Augustus Freeman IV?
Because they both have similarities in terms of politics. And,
right.
Where they
but at the end of the day, I feel like Icon may be more relatable than Calvin Ellis based on the stories that were told in that comic book.
Because I want to say that I know of Calvin Ellis, because Grant Morrison was the one that created him, and I do have the Action Comics issue. But I want to ask, was he the Superman in Earth 2, Chris?
No.
So he was different from that one?
Yes.
So, and that's what confused me. I'm like, I knew of Calvin Ellis, but when Earth 2, when I watched Earth 2, or saw the Earth 2 comic, I was like, this ain't Calvin Ellis. And I'm like, well, which Superman is this? That Superman Earth 2, but it was kind of confusing to me. And that's why people was like, well, they should go with Calvin Ellis. But then you got this other one in Earth 2 that was not Calvin Ellis. So it's kind of confusing on what Black Superman they're going to go with when you really think about it.
The bad part of it is nobody cares. Nobody cares. They don't care. So they're going to expend more money and no one's going to care. Like, no one cares. Nobody cares. like four others don't care about Superman being black.
God, but who that? You a damn fool, man. Boy.
Hey,
but
go ahead and take it home, Chris.
The Earth 2, for clarification, Earth 2 Superman is Val Zod. He is actually same origin story, but is the son of Zod as opposed to the son of Jor-El. He's from Earth 2. Calvin Ellis is a Superman from Earth 43. Other differences are Val Zod was actually in the Earth 2 comic book, whereas Calvin Ellis really actually only appeared in the Final Crisis story in like issue 7 or whatever. So he actually doesn't have Calvin Ellis has never had an actual running comic book that told his story.
Yeah.
Whereas Val Zod had the Earth 2 story, the Earth 2 comic book that kind of told his story on the back end along with the other stories that went on in the comic book. So there's that huge difference between the two of them. Their similarities are extremely the same between Val Zod and between Calvin Ellis. The differences when it comes to Icon would be that,
I don't even like his name as Calvin Ellis.
Well, they couldn't name him.
Why does it gotta be Calvin?
Hold up. Calvin got a job.
Calvin got a job.
And then it's Cal L. Like,
getting paid.
There's no hype.
He's turning his name into Cal L, come.
Right. Calvin got a job at McDonald's and eventually became the president, y'all.
So it's gonna be some point. They're probably gonna think he a damn Black Panther with the Cal L.
So and
Nation of Islam.
His name actually has no hyphen in between. It's all one word. It's Kal-El. So they didn't put a hyphen in between it with his for whatever reason. Grant Morrison decided not to do that. But I feel like with Icon, given the state of the world, they are rolling out the milestone comics. They're coming out in May. They're coming out this month at some point. But with Icon, I feel like it's more of a delicate story to tell because Icon's story would have to start during slavery to give it really justice. Like I would let's be real. None of us, if they made an Icon movie, would any of us be happy if the opening credits just skip through all of his trials as a slave and then it just starts in present day? You know what I'm saying? Without really giving you that information of how he went through all of that. His story is.
See, but that's what I mean. They would have to actually make a conscious effort to tell that story.
Right.
So that would mean that you would have multiple movies. You know what I'm saying?
They would need to, but the problem is though, with the state of the world that we're in, with the way the general populace comic book knowledge and culture is, They're living for that instant gratification of a hero that they can instantly recognize and relate to when they see. And when it comes to Black culture, there's only so much we want to relate to when we're watching a movie. You know, on the regular, we always hear we tired of seeing Black people portrayed as drug users, drug dealers, prostitutes, and pimps. But we don't want to see them doing slavery neither. Because let's just be real. Harriet Tubman, the last Harriet Tubman movie, when she had a gun, was kind of ridiculous. When Harriet was out there busting caps and freeing slaves, was just kind of like, what's going on? It don't always go.
She had a strap, so there was no reason. Right. There was no way in hell she could have been a slave, right?
Right. I saw the trailer for the Harriet Tubman movie.
Like who I'm reporting to.
Right, and all of a sudden I thought it was the episode of the Boondocks with Catcher Freeman. Like right. She was out there Boondocks. Like, she was out there getting it. You know? So, and the other thing is that with DC, because DC with their movies are behind the 8 ball. As a DC fan, I can wholeheartedly say that when it comes to their movies, DC's behind the 8 ball because Marvel had time and they built it up. And so DC is always trying to play catch up, and they're always trying to play catch up, and they use what people instantly recognize. Superman is one of the most recognized characters around the world. People know that S. You know what I'm saying? So you mix that in with the fact that they're trying to make sure that people are gonna want to come see their movies, and so you end up with a Black Superman movie. Could they have said it better than saying we're gonna make a Black Superman movie? Because that really just sounds like Operation Get Behind the Darkies. Is what that sounds like when they say it like, and so that's just a bad title, but that's how things go. But they could have done it a totally different way, you know, to portray it to people and come at it at a different approach. Do I think Calvin Ellis would be a good Superman movie if done properly? Because the reality is he's a character that, because they've never really flushed out of his background and his story, they can kind of do a little bit of whatever they want to a degree. So long as they stick to lone survivor from a planet that exploded, landed on Earth. After that, I mean, think about it. All we got to do is make sure his planet explodes and he lands on Earth and he eventually becomes the president, and somewhere in the middle he becomes Superman. They can just make up the rest. It gives them a nice little open world to kind of sandbox to play in if done correctly. And to me, in order for that to be done correctly, Zack Snyder and Josh Whedon have to have nothing to do with this movie. Personally, like I
mean, it's gonna be one of those shows that ain't gonna be. I mean, no one's gonna go see it at the movies, so I hope they don't think they got a blockbuster on their hands. Like, it ain't gonna happen. So,
I mean, 2020 ended with Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey being the biggest movie of the year. So, I mean, these things happen.
Well, I mean, I know what I'm saying is it ain't going to be Black Panther. Like,
well, here's the thing though, ain't nothing going to be Black Panther,
and that's what I'm saying. Don't change up your script because you're chasing that. Like,
you know,
don't chase that stardom, because I doubt that you know what I'm saying, that Marvel has another movie like Black Panther. That was just
they got Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, that ain't. I don't think that's going to be successful. It's a totally different story. You know what I mean?
Like, don't go see Birds of Prey, Barbarian.
Don't waste your time.
Don't do it. That movie's so bad it'll give you cancer.
Hey, I turned off Versus because SWV just blew it away on that last one. I was like,
you see that, dog? Like, I feel bad for them, man. I feel bad for Escape. Like, really, like,
well, I feel bad for you, son.
They're a little small.
Hey, don't feel bad for them.
I ain't gonna lie, I like Escape, but SWV is just far superior, man.
Yeah, like, SWV got it on lock, man. But she stood up and sang.
You don't even know.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
When she stood up and sang in them shorts, they won.
I'm gonna have to find the video with them shorts. Hey, we may have to play that video on the
bruh.
I'm just playing.
Check that out backstage.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're gonna. All right. So moving right along, we're gonna get to the inverse of this. I did that on purpose, and the reason why I did that is because Marvel dropped the bomb on everybody a few days ago.
Just snuck it in.
And I will have to say that this was interesting, very interesting to say the least. I watched it about 2 or 3 times. If you have not watched it, then you'll get your opportunity to watch it right now because I'm going to play it and then we'll get everybody's thoughts on it. But Marvel dropped this on May the 3rd, and basically it was just their introduction into the phase 4 of all the movies. This is the reason why I say that DC is just, it's like a fish out of water right now for them. While they're doing what they're doing, trying to debate on whether or not they're going to have a black Superman, Marvel is setting the pace not only with their Disney Plus, but with the movies and stuff. Now, I ain't going to lie, this right here made me excited to go back to the movies. Now, there's one movie in this whole bunch that, well, I take that back. I am going to go see it off the strength of WandaVision. But I'm going to go ahead and play this trailer, and then we're going to get our thoughts together. So, let's see how. Can everybody hear it?
No.
I really don't need to hear it. We could just discuss about it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. So,
Stan's voice.
Stanley talking.
Was that Kate
I
Bishop?
turned on.
Can't die. On there, version.
Don't take them back.
They know what everybody loved.
The previews.
Took 10 years to get that scene.
Captain America.
I ain't gonna lie, man. I get the feels every time I see that scene, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's the Marvel. Marvel.
The forever pushback movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta hurry up and put that out.
Stuck straight in limbo.
I think that movie is just gonna make people mad that she's dead.
Yep. I agree.
How good that movie's got to be at this point because all the pushback it's gotten. And many times they done reset the release date.
I just think it's gonna be good, and people are, because the books have been good. I've been reading some of the books from my wife.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're good, but I just think that they're gonna be pissed that she's dead, or they killed her in the last movie or whatever.
It is.
Brie Larson talked herself out of a solo movie.
I want to see that.
I just want to see Roll come and suck the power out of her and just end up like this.
Oh, the rap.
That was Fantastic Four, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, and I have difficulty. You know, I'm a grown man and I am very confident in my masculinity, but I always have a problem with seeing Chadwick Boseman, man. I look at it from a perspective that we could have had a whole lot more from him, and I hate the fact that we're not going to be able to see him, progress in that role. But dude, I don't know what DC waiting on, man. I guess they just, I have no clue.
Don't want to see Michael B. Jordan
this
as
right here is like
as Superman. Michael B. Jordan has to stay in Marvel, or else he'll be canceled. He can't go and be this Superman and think that he's gonna be able to get the same, you know.
Remo's right. I mean, DC, man, I told you, man, the Jets playbook, man. New York Jets.
So Sean, out of those offerings that they showed in the trailer, what are you most excited for, sir?
I mean, I'm gonna see all of them because we've been riding this MCU train for a long time. So even the ones that I'm least excited for, with Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, at least they're gonna have Miss Marvel and Monica Rambeau in the movie. So I do want to see that movie for their standpoint,
Right.
And I'm looking forward to the new Doctor Strange, the Multitude of Madness, Multiverse of Madness, and what they're gonna do with Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. That's probably gonna be the most interesting one, out of all of those because of what happened to Chadwick Boseman, and I want to see what Coogler comes up with and continuing this franchise without the lead actor who gave us the first movie. So I'm pretty much excited for all of them, and I definitely want to see where this takes us. I mean, we saw that glimpse of the Fantastic Four logo in there, so Marvel is definitely setting up a lot of things with their universe.
Well, you're not lying with that, because I knew as soon as I saw that Fantastic Four logo at the end, I'm like, man, that's a $9 million book now, man. Like, for real. Like, I knew it was going to jack up. Fantastic Four #1 is probably anybody that was trying to collect that run, if they don't have it by now,
Call it around.
It's at least 3 years away, though. 2-3 years away.
That man, that if Disney Plus has not shown us anything, if you see somebody's toe, oh my God, that's Sasquatch from Alpha Flight's toe. Alpha Flight 1 going up to $300.
Mm-hmm.
Remo, what are you looking for?
I'm looking forward to Ant-Man personally. I'm an Ant-Man fan. I like all the movies. I think that movie is going to springboard a few characters probably going forward. I think, I don't know. I want to see if they do Fantastic Four right, but only if they have Dr. Doom in it.
A real Dr. Doom.
The real Dr. Doom.
Right. Like
not some dude from over at the scrap market.
Yeah, exactly. Not like the last. The last Dr. Doom was all right, but it wasn't the one that I wanted to see. I didn't even like the way they told the story of the Fantastic Four in the last 2 movies. They were too soft. It was almost like Lost in Space.
Very much so.
And can we get a Dr. Doom for Latveria, please? Can we actually go to the place for a change?
Yeah. I want him to already be established. You know what I'm saying? Like doing his thing, and then they kind of
they can with him. Like the little name drop of Latveria will get everybody excited. They name drop it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. I think there's going to be some hit or misses in the line. I know I read an article a couple weeks ago that apparently WandaVision was actually supposed to have Doc Strange in it, but for whatever reason they didn't really explain. But he didn't make it because WandaVision is that bridge to the multiverse of madness.
That would have answered a lot of questions.
That'd have put it over the top. I think they're gambling a lot with Eternals. Even more so with the rumors that they're already talking about making a sequel, and the first one ain't even came out yet. Yeah. I think it's interesting that Captain Marvel 2 became Marvels because Brie Larson couldn't keep her mouth shut and almost talked herself out of a movie. And so in order to try to make up for this, it seems like they're adding in, the other two in order to get people to want to come see this movie because they've lost a lot of fans. Captain Marvel wasn't that great of a movie to a lot of people. And so this might probably, hopefully this will be the last of the whole Captain Marvel run. I think if they do Fantastic Four, they're gonna get. I hope they get this one shot and they get it right, and the Fantastic Four gets to join the MCU as a good movie, as opposed to everything else that has come before it. And I'm looking forward to, because like Sean said, like I'm gonna see them because I've seen every other MCU movie over the last 10 years or whatever.
Do you think they're gonna use the same story arc that they've been using with the Fantastic Four, and this will be part 3, and it'll just be a different? I mean, it's obviously going to have different cast members, but
I think they're going to do a complete reboot, and this is going to be a complete origin story for the Fantastic Four. We're going to see them go into space. Hopefully, Doctor Doom will have an accent and be from Latveria and in an accurate costume for a change. Yeah. Like, I think they're going to do a complete reboot because the other three movies were horrible. And so at this point, they kind of have to scrap everything that came before.
So then if you do that, then you can't tell the story of Galactus and Silver Surfer where that's going to put them further out.
Yeah. I mean, but they could, if they were going to do that, they had perfect opportunity to do that flying around with the space
event. They already did.
Of the Galaxy.
They did it so bad that I don't see how those books can be as popular as they are,
right?
So they're not even going to be really in the MCU for probably we're talking another 5 or.
Well, see, then I guess that's just like you asked. It depends on how they're going to do it. If they do a complete reboot, then we're going to have to wait. But if they go and just jump in and they kind of do
Surfer was in the last movie, and that would have brought Galactus like immediately.
Galactus was in.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But like as far as like being a reoccurring, like somebody they're always kind of running from. You know what I mean?
But it's going to be a matter of how well they handle it. Because if they jump in right now, then they got the opportunity to actually bring the family element to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Because Reed and Sue have kids now in the comic, so they could literally bring in the Fantastic Four with their kids, and so then they'd have that one MCU franchise. That even though the rest of the franchise is a family-oriented movie franchise, this is literally a family franchise. You know what I'm saying? Because here is mom, dad, the uncles, and the kids, and it could really work if they do it right, though.
Yep.
Because with Franklin, they could bring in X-Men that way too, because Franklin is considered a mutant. And so they could bring in X-Men,
an Omega level mutant.
Right. I mean, and if done correctly, they could really bring in Franklin in the Fantastic Four movie, make him a teenager, and they could roll straight into the House of X, Power of 10 story arc right there. And instead of doing these backstories for the X-Men, jump right to the current run of what's going on in the X-Men world through the Fantastic Four. And they could have that whole, even if they did like a TV show, miniseries, whatever, do that whole Fantastic Four versus the X-Men story arc. That 4-issue story where, they invited Franklin to come out to the island to be with other mutants, and the Fantastic Four was like, you can't have my kids. They could do that. There's that bridge there. There's that building opportunity that Marvel has been doing with their movies that they could continue to do if handled correctly. And it's just a matter of who's all in charge and who's doing the writing. I mean, and not even writing. Who's doing the reading? The writing's already done. Like, all these comic books exist. Why people can't just read them and make a movie from them is still amazing to me. But,
Yeah.
No, I agree. I just think that, like, the Eternals is going to be a different type of movie. That's going to be that's not going to be that's going to be a thinking man's movie. Like, you're going to have to watch that and probably watch it a few times. To make sense out of it, you know what I mean? Like,
well, I mean,
the books is kind of deep.
Well, I mean, right. Like, I mean, as far as it goes, and what's up, Big Shaq? The Eternals actually paved the way for what is known as the Earth 616. We have the Eternals, the Deviants, and
exactly.
Something else I can't remember. It was three different species or something. So whether or not they're going to go with the Jack Kirby version, because I want to say Grant Morrison redid it.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way it goes, that's going to be one of those movies that's going to make you like. It's not going to be the standard fare for a superhero comic book.
I read a few of those books, and I read like the new run. I read the first couple of issues. And I'm like, damn, this is just going to be like literally like the gods. You know what I mean? You're watching like a Greek mythology movie. You know what I mean? Like all the gods, how they play amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? Like there ain't gonna be no mortal people in the movie. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be a little different thing. Like you know what I mean? Like of epic proportions. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not gonna be like your normal superhero story.
Right.
Like they're literally creating as they're going. You know.
I'm intrigued by Eternals. I'm really intrigued by that because I think that movie is going to be the what I call the link movie, where it's going to link everything in the next phase all together. And I think we're going to get some big surprises out of that.
Yeah, I think the end credit scene for that movie is gonna do some real shit.
Yeah, that's one movie you definitely want to make sure you sit and watch the mid and end. I'm pretty sure we'll get some meat and potatoes out of that one. Guardians of the Galaxy. I want to see that, and also of course Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
And just to see what they're going to do with that and where that's going to go, because we may start getting these street levels again, which I hope we do. Because that's
what I really want to see.
Yeah. I mean, those are shows already within themselves. I think we talked last week about Daredevil popping back up. So I mean, we can get back into these guys, and these are already established characters, so they wouldn't have to really even do much with those characters. They can just go ahead and roll them out. So it was definitely cool, man. Because I was kind of just taken aback because at first when I heard about the trailer, I thought it was a farce. And I was like, well, I hadn't heard anything, about this coming out. And then I went and looked and was like, oh, it's for real. This actually came out. Right. I thought we had a full couple minute trailer of Eternals, but it was just a little snippet there. And I was hoping we had a full on trailer. But I'm sure we'll probably get one in the somewhere here in the summer.
Are they?
Well, I tell you what, the lineup was very interesting. I mean, to say the least. I think I'm kind of like Sean with the Marvels. Like I wasn't too enthused with the first one, but I think with the addition of Monica Rambeau and then with the upcoming Miss Marvel show, I think that's gonna boost Brie Larson's stock up tremendously as it pertains to that new movie. I mean, Guardians, I'm looking forward to that. Of course, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Shang-Chi.
Me and you, your mama and your cousin.
Riding on a strip on Vogue. Coming up.
Cadillac.
Oh my God.
Back in the day when I was hungry, looking at Philly Belly with that rally. Bullshit. Hey, hold up. Okay, my bad.
Pulling up, slamming prices on these slabs. That's astronomical.
Yeah,
man.
But yeah, man, y'all realize but think about this. You good? It took me back. We getting 3 Marvel movies this year between July and December.
Yeah,
and then we're getting another 3 or 4 next year.
What's even colder than that is you getting just as many on Disney Plus.
Yeah, when you think about it, yeah, these you're right.
Armor Wars, you're gonna get that
Secret Invasion.
Is that gonna be a 6-part show? Or is that gonna be a flat out movie?
I think it's gonna be a 6-parter.
Okay.
At least that's what I seen.
Now, Spider-Man, I'm looking forward to that if the rumors are true. If Andrew Garfield and Seabiscuit, I cannot remember that dude's name, man.
Tobey Maguire.
Thank you, Sean. I don't know why I like to call that dude Seabiscuit, but he was in a movie called Seabiscuit right after he did Spider-Man 3, and I just synonymized Seabiscuit with him. So
yeah,
he was a race jockey in that movie. But
Spider-Man would be on HBO Max.
No.
Disney Plus.
I don't know where they're gonna drop it.
I don't know about that. No, Spider-Man is actually gonna be in the movies.
No, but I'm saying though,
Spider-Man drops in December.
I seen the thing I seen on there. They had the movie showing that they were gonna release them. So what would you? They're not gonna only be in the movies. Those days are gone. So they're gonna be on these streaming services. They're gonna be on Hulu, or would it be on Disney Plus? You know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna have to release.
I would think it'd be on Disney Plus.
Yeah. It's got to be on Disney Plus because they just did they just made an announcement last week where some of those properties are going to be coming over.
So it's on there. They got that slated for like November or something like that, or December.
Well, Warner Brothers said that it's in 2022. All their movies are going back to being theater only. They're only doing the whole dual release thing this year. So everybody else is probably going to follow suit and go right back to the theaters in 2022.
Who that? You say DC?
Yeah, Warner Brothers said all their movies are only releasing in theaters and HBO Max for 2021. Come 2022, they're going back to theaters.
Well, they damn sure better be glad it wasn't Mortal Kombat didn't come out in the theater and I had to go see that.
Oof, man.
I'm talking about a Haku thrust point to the right here. Real hard.
Flipping chairs and everything.
Yeah, man, we gonna talk about that movie. Okay, so moving right along. All right, so one other quick discussion, and then we're gonna get to our topic of this evening. I actually saw this a while back when Falcon and Winter Soldier dropped, and I found it interesting because what happened was Ed Brubaker did an article. He did an interview with IGN. And basically, they did a video interview, and they also did, of course, an article. And he's basically saying in the article, he pretty much breathed life into Bucky, James Buchanan Barnes, in regards to the Winter Soldier. And one thing he said that was interesting to me, he says, Brubaker's complaints are unfortunately common among comic creators because most Marvel and DC creators operate under a work-for-hire agreement. They're generally legally entitled to very little when their work is adapted for other media. IGN has explored the past, and this has led many former Marvel creators to depart the company and pursue creator-owned projects that offer greater financial rewards if those stories are adapted for film and TV.
Okay.
So my question is, and hopefully we can run through this one pretty quick. Being that we see a lot of properties blowing up, Deadpool. Well, dang, Remo, you gonna cut it off like that, dude?
Because it's easy, man.
I thought he talked to his child.
Nah, it's just like the music game, man. It's like the music game. You get what you negotiate. You sign them contracts, and instead of being so hyped to get the work, you need to do the checks and balances. If you feel that strongly about your work, then don't do the work. Don't do the contract. You know what I'm saying?
Don't think they deserve any kind of residuals at all?
I do if that's what you signed up for that. If you say, hey, I'm creating this work going forward, if it's work for hire, it's work for hire. It's like if I do a song with you and I say, Al, I just want you to play bass on my song. I want you to play it like this. You're gonna get your writing credit because you played it, but I'm gonna pay you as a work for hire. You're a session musician at that point. Now, if we go into the studio together and I say, let's come up with a song, and you play the bass line, you are then a co-writer, and you are entitled to said royalties. It's a difference. It's a total difference. So I can't have these guys going into it saying, oh, it's like the artist doing the artwork. They're paid for those panels because that's what they're paid for. That's work for hire. Now, if they go out on a limb and create characters and all this stuff like that, then that's when you get paid. That's when you say, hey, I own this guy's likeness and all this type of stuff, and then going forward, you know what I'm saying? That's how it goes. Work for hire, man. That's what it is. It's a session musician, or it's an artist. It's a writer, or you come up with it. Either you are the person who is charged with coming up with the stories and doing all that work, and that's what it's like being salary. They got you for more than 8 hours a day, baby. They got you for more than 8 hours, though. That's why you don't take the salary position. If you value your hours in a day, don't take a salary position because they're gonna get all they can get from it. And that's the same thing with these.
Remo, you said earlier shady business, right?
Yeah.
And I'm surprised EPMD ain't made an album called Shady Business because we've been going through that for eons. Shady business exists, and we've seen it within the comic creators that they're always going to get the shaft from the big corporations because that's how things work. You know, it works in every business aspect. Now, do I think Ed and the artists
does Bendis get money from Miles Morales going forward?
That's why I want. Is his pocket getting fat because of the success of Miles Morales and the Spider-Verse? You know, it should. But you know, you would think that if it's a shady business, that Marvel and Sony are profiting more than him.
Absolutely, because they're telling you, they're giving you the free reign. They're like, oh yeah, go ahead, man. We'll pay you, you know, X amount of dollars a year. You come up with these stories and all that. You're doing it for us. You know, make no mistake. You're working for us. You're creating that stuff for us. But yeah, we'll pay you, you know, $75,000, $80,000 a year. And whatever you create, we have first right of refusal or whatever, how they want to do it. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to own that stuff. You're not going to work for them to pay you and you get to keep all your stuff. It don't work like that.
Okay, so let me pose this question then, because you slapped that down like I'm like Matumbo.
Right.
So yeah, no. So basically, this is my question. Okay, so do you think I'm posing this to the panel? Do you think that writers and creators working for the companies should actually rework their contract with any type of plausibility that if that particular property that they worked on, that they will be subject to some form of residuals? Because I understand completely what you talking about, Remo.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? I do. I agree with that, but that's why you go independent.
Yeah, that's what your 1099 status, man.
And the reason why I say that is because I kind of see Ed Brubaker's point. I mean, you know, you take a property and you see your work done and the amount of time that you put into it, and yeah, you got paid for it. But, you know, Marvel got Winter Soldier thermos cups and lunch boxes and all this kind of stuff.
Before you and after you. You know what I'm saying? Like those, it's like going into these places and they're like, you know what I mean? Like they're like, yeah, man, you know, it's like going to Jay Leno's garage and he's like, yeah, man, you can drive, you know, you're working there. And he's like, yeah, man, you can drive whatever, you know, you're washing it, whatever. You can drive whatever car you want. You know what I'm saying? They still mine. I still own these cars, but you can drive them to the store while you're cleaning them and do this and that, you know what I'm saying? But they still my cars, you know what I'm saying? And that's a difference if you come in there and you fixing up a car in his garage using his tools and all that type of stuff like that. And that's a difference. And that's what you negotiate with him. Like, hey, you mind if I use your tools while I'm here working or whatever, how you do it. But I'm sure these writers go straight to the thing and they're saying, hey, you pick whatever artist, whatever property you want. You got free reign. You can pick whatever one and write stories for it for this price that we're paying. And that's what he did. He came up with those stories because he was employed by Marvel to use those characters during his time at Marvel.
Yeah, but so I think it's also...
And then want money for it after he wrote the stories. When that's like the women... Oh, no, I ain't going to go there now.
But
I just say Bill Cosby.
But I think it's also a matter of having to look at it as it's a different time period. Think about it. 20, 30 years ago, whatever, when these characters were created, didn't nobody think that they would ever actually be comic book movies. 'Cause at the time, Batman and Superman were the only people that had comic book movies. You know what I'm saying? And it's like somebody said in the comments, that's why Image was created. Those guys they created these characters and they owned them, but they were also a creator-owned company.
There you go.
If you
want to do that, you got to start your own property and be like Savage Dragon and write every issue, or Spawn and write every issue, or come up with other characters like Jim Lee, however you want to do it. But that's the only way. You can't take somebody else's property, write a story, and then act like you want residuals from that.
But it's not necessarily like taking, it's not necessarily taking another, you can't get residuals off of something that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby created years ago. But perfect example, Deadpool. Rob Liefeld and Fabian Nicieza, however you pronounce his name, they created that character.
Yeah, exactly.
They created that character for Marvel. So, I feel like at that point, that kind of puts that in a position. Well, that's kind of
like that was on there. That's
debatable.
That's like Riri Williams working at Stark and creating her suit there and then stealing it. You know what I mean? Like feeling like she owned it because she used all your parts. No, that's my shit.
Isn't that what happened in the comic book?
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's exactly what happened in the comic book.
Exactly.
But also though, you have to, when it comes to the Winter Soldier and Ed Brubaker, you have to look at Jack Kirby and Stan created Bucky Barnes.
Yeah.
Not the Winter Soldier. They're considered to be two completely separate characters. Ed Brubaker created and wrote the stories of the Winter Soldier. And now Marvel, and when he did it, he didn't know there was going to be any Captain America movie or a Marvel Cinematic Universe. And then all of a sudden, Marvel's like, we're going to put the Winter Soldier on diapers and adult Depends and anything else we can market him for.
Yeah, but that's under their watch. You know what I mean? Like, you created that while you was working for us. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they're looking at it. They're like, thanks. Like, man, you went that extra mile, man.
That also brings us into the territory of like we're talking about with DC. We're talking about, like you were talking about, how with Icon and all the stuff in Milestone. Milestone Comics was an offshoot of DC Comics, and it was creator owned. That's why they can't do just Automatic, Static, or Icon, because Dwayne McDuff's wife owns the rights to those characters, so they can't just decide to make. They want to do Black Superman.
And they didn't say no.
Icon.
They didn't say no to them. They let them create those characters. They paid them, and they let them keep their licenses.
And it's her right. And she's been saying no off and on since, her husband died, when they've gone to her and been like, hey, we want to do XYZ character. And she's like, well, no, you can't use them. I don't want to let y'all use them for whatever reason. So it comes down to how things were worked out in those original contracts to a degree on whether or not comic book writers should. And like you said, Rima, that is a matter of them having to make sure, especially, and I think it's definitely a different thing now. Nowadays, if you create a character, I guarantee you every writer or artist has it in their contract that they get royalties down. If 20 years from now, if you decide to use my character in X-Men 23, then I get royalties from it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what you negotiate, you got to come in and say, hey, look, I know I'm work for hire, but if I create something that's successful, like if I throw in a new character and we come up with a new character going forward from this story, I'm owning that stuff. Like anything outside of what you already own, Captain America, Spider-Man, blah, 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 Hulk, all that. But if I create another character that gains traction and you guys decide to go forward with it, that's my character. I'm not doing it. I just want to do it.
Let's look at one character, Angela from Spawn, created by Neil Gaiman. Now, he written and he created that character, and then McFarlane tried to use it even further, and Gaiman was like, hold on now, I still own that because I created that character. And there's been a whole little legalization on who owns the rights to that character.
But
and it was Gaiman. Gaiman won.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then he took it over to Marvel.
And now she's the sister of Thor.
Yeah,
because that was an independent character. It was at an independent spot. It didn't exist prior to. It wasn't loaned out for you to write to. He's mad because he created the Winter Soldier, which is basically their rendition of Bucky post World War II. Now, if they said that, then you know what I'm saying. That's what they got to roll on that because they created it. They went along with that. And you know what I'm saying? So, like, he might have a leg to stand on. We might get co-creator, but he had the Winter Soldier only has a story because he created it off of an existing character that Marvel owned. Like, he can't tell the story of the Winter Soldier without having Bucky, which is a Marvel property, is insufficient as
and I look at it as, you know, they probably are giving him some royalties, but he want more. And I'm like, nah, we just giving you what we gonna agree to give you, but you know, if you want more, then
I don't even think it's a big deal. It's either they're gonna say yes or no. I don't even think it's like, you know, you're dealing with like, you know, Tony Soprano or anything like that. I just think that you go in there and you tell them, you're just like, look, man, I'm gonna write for you, or I'm gonna, you know, do ink or pencils or however we're gonna do it, you know. But if I create something, I want to own it going forward. And if they say no, you don't sign the contract. It's simple as that, man. You're not going to get robbed of anything you don't allow yourself to get robbed of. The people that get robbed are the people who are, you know, growing their bright-eyed and bushy-tailed and just be like, I'll do whatever you say. That's not how you get. That's how you own it.
And the thing about it is, if you still want to work for them, all right, fine. I'll sign the contract, but I ain't gonna create no new characters for them. I'll take my ideas and go to Image or Boom and create it there.
I'm gonna sign a non-exclusive contract with Marvel. I can write for you. I can do whatever you want me to do, but I'm also free to go elsewhere and take my characters that I create
wherever I want
and do what I need.
Yeah, and look at Mark Millar and the stuff that he's doing through Netflix. You know, Jupiter's Legacy just dropped, and he's making all that money because he created it along with the artist.
Smart man, yeah. If you got an artist, bro, you can bring your stories to fruition. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you can make it happen.
Yeah, that's all you need, and that's all you're gonna get going to Marvel is you're gonna have the pick of the litter and artists that are there, and you're gonna have a pick of the litter as far as characters that are already created that you can get your foot in the door. And then from that, give yourself some notoriety. If you're a good artist and you can draw Captain America, then you'll get more work. If you can write a good story and you start off with Captain America and you write great stories, you're going to get more work. That's all Marvel's giving you as a springboard. What you choose to do after that, if you want to go and create characters and do all that stuff, then yeah, you get your bread. But you can't get mad at Marvel for giving you a start and then you doing a little extra and then they roll with it and get rich and you get pissed. No, you shouldn't have gave up your game. The game is supposed to be sold, not told. You don't give it up just for nothing.
Yes.
Just because, you know what I'm saying?
Man.
Well, I mean, as an artist myself, man, I mean, you gotta learn how to read shit before you sign it.
There you go.
That's just the bottom line. I mean, you got to make sure that you have, you know, get your lawyer, go over that stuff, but don't be waiting until after the damage is done to go back and look, because it ain't gonna happen, man. Once you sign that name on the dotted line, that's it, man. That's you've already. Yep, you've already.
What you tell them you don't even look at the contract if it ain't a certain amount. You don't even look at the contract if it don't have certain perks like travel, paying for my gas, paying for all that. So if I sleep at whatever, if I need to rent a car, if I gotta fly, if I'm doing all that, I'm not even getting out of bed.
Yeah, but see the problem with what you got, with the problem, underlying problem with a lot of this is that a lot of this when Marvel and people like that come knocking at your door, people are thinking automatically I've made it. They hadn't thought about the business side of it. They hadn't thought any aspect of that. So they just all they know is I made my big break and now this is it. And then you mess around and then you get locked. Now all us hip hop heads on the panel. Now y'all remember 8-Ball, MJG, Notorious? They talk about their first record deal, about how they got screwed over so bad. Yep. And this is a classic example of how when you get so excited that you make it, that you screw yourself long term. So I think this is an example that a lot of artists, and if there's any artists watching, that you need to be careful about what you sign, and make sure that you whatever demands that you have, you make sure you have those demands up front.
Tell them, Matt. Tell them
up front.
Tell them. There'll be no confusion when I create Deadpool and you guys put him on the cover of a magazine and he sells 300,000 copies. And then when I go and try and take him to somewhere else, you guys tell me no, and then I get mad.
But see, Remo, Remo, one of the things, man, is that people, like, if I was an artist, I'd have something in a clause in there somewhere where I could go. Yeah, that's a good example too, by the way. Chappelle. I have an
read
example.
my mind. Because I was gonna put up this.
Diversify your bonds.
There you go.
Yeah, I was starting to do that. But put something in that way. If you got a character somehow, and you making thermoses, that hey, get a royalty. That's stuff that should be handled up front, man. Put a percentage of what you want to make. If y'all selling this, hey man, I get 5% of whatever, because you think 5% is gonna go a long way with some of these characters.
Yeah,
like I said, thermoses, hats, posters.
It's hard to turn down food, but nobody's telling you to come into the kitchen and take what's already cooked. Like they asking you to come in there and create, and you'll get paid. They didn't say nothing about going the extra mile and creating characters. All you gotta do is write the story and draw the existing character. Now, if you want to add something to it, then that's when you got to hold back until you say, I'm gonna hold back this character, Miles Morales or Winter Soldier, until we renegotiate my contract. And when we renegotiate my contract, I'm going to put a clause in there that says if I create any characters moving forward, I'm entitled to X amount of dollars. And then guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to drop these two characters on them. Boom. I got the Winter Soldier. Boom. There's this dude named Miles Morales. And then guess what? You going to cake up because you just created. And I wouldn't even give them both characters in the same year. You know what I'm saying? I'd wait until the next one. And then when that one comes out, boom.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Like, it's up to you, bro. You control all of that. They can't be doing all that stuff and get mad after the fact when they get successful and think that it was all because of them. It's like I used to watch Snoop Dogg and them always talking about, oh, yeah, I got jerked on my record deal. You know, I was driving around in Benzes and living in houses and my name wasn't on all of them. Well, shit, you was driving around in the Benz and you was living in a 5,000 square foot home for 6-7 years. I don't care if I don't own it if I ain't paying for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only time I'm worried about it is if I got to pay for it. Now, now you getting paid handsomely and you have you're living in that house, then yeah, I'm gonna take some of that money and I'm gonna go buy myself a house. That way, I don't have to live in this house no more because I don't own it. Now I want to go and take this elsewhere and go get paid for my work. Right. I want to go and create this character, and I'm going to get paid for it. That's what they should do.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're not going to get the reach that you get from Marvel, but, you know, hey.
Better than nothing.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are getting nuggets of wisdom and knowledge that supersedes this particular conversation. So if you are a creator or a musician or an artist,
of some type,
please use this as a point of
I'm off this wine, so you know what I'm saying. Wine and that stuff you got me flowing, you know what I'm saying. So
he's right here.
Looks like you got we call this Wakanda Forever up on this stage over here.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go into one more quick thing, right quick, and then we're gonna get into our main topic of discussion. So I want to do something a little different tonight. And basically,
that's when your lawyer comes in. Your lawyer, hey, you sit down with your lawyer and look over everything. Yeah, that's not a good excuse. You better look over that. And if you don't understand something and he ain't telling you, go find somebody that you go research it and look it up and find out what it is. Don't sign
find somebody who do.
Yeah, don't sign nothing if you don't understand it. And don't just say, "Oh, I'm hungry. I want steak and shrimp. I'm tired of top ramen." You've been eating top ramen this long. Don't get robbed.
You know, the person that you might be signing that contract, might be Satan. You know, no.
Yeah,
but But I want to show a couple of things right quick. We don't really get into this particular topic too much. This is an old list. Who was that?
That was my wife.
Oh, okay.
She's filling the wine.
But she how she get it tonight, baby.
She's over there throwing it back. You know what I'm saying?
Now, since then, this was actually published back in January of this year, and there's been several books that have come out since then. But I did notice a few noteworthy books on here. Devil's Dominion. I've not read that one, so I'm not really familiar with that one. Is anyone on the panel familiar with that book?
Nope.
Hasn't come out yet. I haven't heard of that one.
Well, this was actually back in January, so if it's not, it should be.
I haven't
unless
seen
it was actually canceled. So that was number 9 is Nocturna. Now I've gotten issue 1 of that. I haven't read issue 2.
I got issue 1 and 2. I got to pick up 3.
Yeah.
It is a good story.
Yeah, I haven't read past issue 2.
Okay.
3 just came out.
Actually, yeah, I actually got to finish reading 2, and I haven't got 3 yet.
Now this one right here kind of confused me because this was dated back in January of this year, but this book has been out for a few months. This is from the creator of the comic series Black.
Right.
I have this book, and it's a really good book. But the premise, of course, behind this book is that what if all black people on the earth gain superpowers, that type of thing. But it's a pretty good read.
Yeah, I haven't read that one.
Number 7, Department of Truth. I heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, that's a good book.
You know.
I haven't read any. I grabbed a couple.
I can't get into the art of that, man.
Yeah,
like the art wasn't my style, man.
It's very abstract, man. But I heard it was the story itself was.
Yeah, the story is great, but it's just the art.
Yeah. Shadow
I'm
Man.
kind of be into that stuff in order for.
I started to pick that up last week, man.
It
Yeah, I
just
heard
came
some
out,
good
didn't
stuff
it?
about that. I haven't read it, but I heard some good stuff about it.
I think it's like I thought it was on like issue 1 or something. It like just
Yeah,
came
I think
out.
it just came out.
That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about this one, Sean. You were talking about this one on your show one day, and then you have like a couple of variants to this too, like to Abbott number 1.
Yeah, I have a couple of variants of issue number 1.
I know that writer, he wrote the last Miss Marvel run. I read that. I read that run. So
He also written Miles Morales.
yeah, he's a. I like his style. It's easily digestible. It's not ridiculously like over the top.
This right here, though.
You're reading that one. Yes,
I'm
sir.
reading this one, man. This is a good series, man.
I have not picked it up.
Really good. So
The
what,
first
Chris?
2 issues are good.
I haven't picked that up. Actually, I haven't seen it when I've gone into Origins.
Really? So
I'm
they
gonna
might
have
be
to-
There's
falling
like
out
they
of it.
got a second print, I think, of both first and second.
I'm gonna have to. That's a. I'm gonna have to go to Oxford to probably pick that up.
Yeah, that's a good one.
They're up to issue 3 on this one. So
Yeah,
this
they're
is
up to
a really
3.
good read, man.
Yes.
Now I haven't heard of this one.
No, haven't seen that one.
Yeah, not sure what this one's all about. And I haven't heard of this one either.
I've heard of that one, and I haven't read it. I think that series is over, though. It was only like 4 issues, I think.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's like 4 or 5. And I have the first 2.
Yeah, I can't find number 1 for nothing. Or that.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's really good.
They make the black look black on there. They still looking like crunchy black from 3-6 Mafia. God damn.
Hey, are there any books that weren't shown on this list that y'all might want to recommend?
Look like oil.
Any books on the list that weren't on the list that y'all might want to recommend? Independent books.
That Stray Dogs is good. I read the first 2 issues. It's good.
Yeah.
It's from the dog's perspective, and the dogs are like in a house where I think a serial killer has killed like their owners, and they're all like he kills them and then he takes the dogs, and the dogs are together. So then they're starting to kind of try and put the pieces together on what happened to the owner. And it's kind of like a murder mystery for the dogs.
Last issue got real dark at the end of it.
Yeah, man. You on what? You on issue 3 or 2 still?
Yeah, I'm up to date on it.
Yeah, so yeah. I think I read 3. If not, I need to get 3. When they were underneath the house, is that 3 or 2?
I think that was both. It was 2 and 3. It continued into 3. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That one was a little rough. I was like, ooh.
I got issue 1. I got the Silence of the Lamb variant, but I'm trying to get like the A cover so I can read it.
Right.
Yeah, I heard Once in Future good. Once in Future was good. I got issue 1 of Post Americana, but I hadn't read that yet. Nuclear Family by Aftershock is a really good title. Nuclear Family is really good. I got a couple when we get to our pools, some more independent stuff. But there's some good independent books.
This is really good.
Shadow Doctor?
This is really good.
Is that on Aftershock?
Aftershock, man, they knocking it out, dude. Yeah, they coming out with some fire.
I haven't seen that, but I'm gonna look for it now. Yeah.
So yeah. All right, guys. Well, we are to our two-part of our main event. First part we're gonna do is
this is a 2-part main event.
Man. We're gonna do a brief discussion, man, of our fantasy comic book collection. Now, each one of us, of course, have our own collection, and we collect what we collect. But if you actually had a clean slate and a blank check to go out and buy whatever, or like one of my grandmothers say, may she rest in peace, whatsoever you wanted to get, what would you get?
How many books?
Action 1, of course. Action Comic 1.
Yeah.
How many books?
Superman. No, I'm saying if you had the option to, okay, we gonna do it like this.
I got it.
Let's do it like this. Well, we can incorporate this with our top 10. Okay. So in addition to whatever like grails you might want, what series or what books would you want in your collection if you had the ability and the resources to get them? So Sean, you said Action 1.
Action
what else
1.
would you add to the mix?
Fantastic Four 1. Then you got the trilogy, the Galactus trilogy. And of course, FF52, first Black Panther. Then I would look at the Spider-Man keys, Air 15, Amazing Spider-Man 1, and get some of those villain keys, especially issue 50, first Kingpin, and of course the classic Romita cover. And of course, Detective 27. I mean, the list could go on if you really think about it. I could probably think, get some Golden Age EC horror books. Some of those great covers. I might even, if I got unlimited funds, I might AOK you first Captain Marvel, man.
Which one?
No, he knows which one. He knows which one. I ain't talking about the Marvel version. He knows which one.
Hey man, if you gave me the Marvel one, I would be very grateful. But Carol Danvers, man, I don't know. I would still be grateful.
When I talk to you and say Captain Marvel, I know which Captain Marvel I'm talking about.
Oh, you talking about Shazam? That's what you talking about.
Yes,
you talking about the real one.
When he was Captain Marvel.
Yeah, back the
original Captain Marvel.
The original.
And when he spoke, 7 gods uttered their names. Yeah, Shazam.
Right. All right, man. How about you, man?
If I had unlimited funds, I would go grab a 9.8 giant size X-Men #1. I would get a House of Secrets 92 9.8. Detective Comics 359, AF15, Fantastic Four 5, Batman #1, and Avengers #1 high grade. It's hard to find Avengers #1 in high grade. I don't think people realize how hard it is to find that book in high grade. I always see it in low grade or either in duct tape mode, as I call it.
Chris?
Unlimited funds. I'm with Sean. I'm getting Action Comics #1. I don't even care if it's slabbed or not. I can.
Hey, let me throw this out there. I don't mean to cut you off, Chris. Let me throw this out there. Which one would y'all? Would you AF-15 or Action Comics 1? Which one?
Action Comics #1 for me.
That's the start of the superheroes right there.
Yeah.
Superman, Action #1.
I mean, think about it. No matter how old you get, if you own a kind of original copy of Action Comics #1, you literally have money on your hands at all times.
But you can only sell it. You can only sell it once.
I only need $3 million one time.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like either that one, Action Comics, or
Remo. That's going in the grave with me, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Take it to the grave, man. Hey, if just say you taking Vampirella #1 to the grave, I'm taking Action #1 to the grave. It ain't going nowhere.
Jace just said, "Damn." Jace said, "Damn."
Sean said, "Put it under my body. It's coming. It's staying with me. You ain't digging into me."
You're gonna have to get through all the freaking bugs and skeleton remains to get that book.
So I'm getting Action Comics #1, Detective 27, first appearance of Robin when it happens. You know, I'm gonna get Avengers #3 or 4, first appearance of Captain America with the Avengers. I'm snagging that. I'm gonna get first appearance of Black Panther. You know, I'm gonna get those. My blank check gonna be spent getting them keys. First appearance of John Stewart as a Green Lantern. Nice. Those. You know what I'm saying? Some of those keys that most people don't really think a whole lot of too much that often. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like them. Like, you know what? Just because I got a blank check, I do it anyway. I'm going to go get Slapstick #1 because I can. Like, because I can. And I'm going to get it slabbed and have it waiting on people to see it when they come in my house. Like, that's Slapstick #1. Ain't nobody got one of them.
10.0.
Right. Get it at 9. I'll beat me to that. Just say you get a 10 or a 9.9.
Man, I'm telling you, fresh.
And then you could charge for $349,000.
That's right. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna get those comic books that are grails for a lot of people, but you know what I'm saying. I've got a blank check to get these comic books. I'm getting these comic books not because of what I could resell them at, but because these are comic books that were the start for characters that are near and dear to my heart, who shaped my personality, my life, and you know my comic fandom. And these are where these characters started from. And so I want these moments that started for them just like they started for me. You know what I'm saying? So those are the comic books I'm going after, hands down. First Wonder Woman. Yep. First appearance of Cheetah. You know.
Yeah, I'm with Chris. I'm getting all the keys, but they can be in high grade. They ain't got to be ridiculous. They ain't even got to be slab. The only thing I want slab is a Hulk 181.
No, I'm getting my Action Comic slab.
A high grade Hulk 181 because that's the only comic that I actually touched in my hands in decent grade as a kid that is now out of here that I can say that was something that I came into contact with at an early age. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I got to get one. Somehow, some way I'll get one, but it's not like I'll you know, if I don't get one, I'll go crazy, but I definitely do want one. And it don't have to be ridiculous, but if it was a blank check, yeah, I want the highest grade I can get. Like, you know what I'm saying? But definitely, I want all in my collection. I just want all the keys. You know what I'm saying? All the Marvel keys.
It is.
That's it.
You know?
That's where I'm going. I'm getting. I mean, I really can't think of too many other comics that are just like. I mean, because like there are some grails that I wanted that I've gotten already. Like I always wanted the 3 connecting covers of X-Men, the Jim Lee 3 connecting covers with all them on there fighting Magneto. I got those last year. I found them in the $5 bin up at Oxford Comics, and I was able to get all 3 of them.
Yeah, that's
you know. So I was able to, and that was man.
I take that back. I want a New Mutants 98 too.
I want a group #1.
That's the book. Hey, that's the book that made me stop collecting for 30 some odd years.
Oh man, don't let the first appearance of Gideon bother you, man.
I know, right?
Gideon.
That's the name I
He
heard in a
looked the
long time.
coldest
That
on the
boy.
cover too, right?
Right.
He looked the coldest on the cover and did nothing in that book.
Did nothing.
You know what? I'd get Saga number 1 and 2.
Oh, nice. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's
I would
good.
get
Yeah,
both.
that's a
I
good
would
Hey,
get
the
Saga
variant.
1 and 2.
Get the diamond variant. Yeah, get the diamond
Yeah.
variant. That's what you want.
The first variant.
Yes.
That's the cold one.
Mm-hmm. I just thought about that. Yeah, I remember when Saga came out, and I passed it over because I didn't think nothing about it, and I kicked myself.
Did I hear recently they talking about doing an animated series on that?
Because the two writers are talking about they're finally coming back from hiatus finally, and they're going to finish the story. Yeah.
That's been a long time. It's been what, 3 years since that book came out? 2 years,
something like that. It's been a minute since the last issue dropped.
Yeah, that was 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years.
2018. I remember.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'll never forget my.
And then what, they just stopped?
Yeah.
Yeah, they said they was going to take a year hiatus, and it turned out to be 3 years, man. I'm like,
yeah,
that's like CHRTD, man.
And what have they been doing in the meantime?
Nothing.
Watch the reruns of This Old House.
They work their contract outright because it's a creator-owned comic book, and they just been living off them royalties. That's what they probably been doing. Because have you seen the resale on issues of? It's ridiculous the resale on issues of Saga, especially the first 10 to 15 issues. That you finding those without almost breaking the bank is ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never seen. I've seen like in the 30s,
right,
30s and 20s, but I've never seen any of the first issues. I got a reprint of the first issue.
You know what? Since I got a blank check, I'd go buy that issue of the Crow #1 with the manufacturer error on it. Why not? I got a blank check. Let's go snag that issue of the Crow.
$3,000. You go ahead and pay $3,000 just to get it off of Get it off of there.
Why not? I got a blank check. Something in there somewhere just giving me money to blow. Let me go ahead and let me spend it on stupid stuff. I'm gonna get me an issue of the Crow with a manufacturer's error on it for $350,000 with the blue label.
Chris say $5 gas money now, y'all. So I'm gonna
right.
buy
We just gonna do that thing,
and you can afford $18 shipping.
You know what I'm saying?
It don't $18 shipping. That's nothing. What?
Hey, this dude that was selling the X-Men or the ASM 300 and 298, 299, 300. Was he charging shipping?
Yeah, $18. Yeah, was it $18? I thought he had free shipping.
$350,000.
It was free shipping. Okay, I get that the Crow. No, the Crow was $18. The Crow was
I was saying that dude is tripping.
Yeah.
Damn, they just had playing this.
I mean, if I got a blank check, might as well spend it on some stupid stuff. You know?
This is a SWV concert. I ain't even heard nothing from Escape yet. The Escape ain't got nothing. They got nothing for them.
That's no compare, man.
That's terrible.
They should have went out and got another group to go against SWV, man. Or In Vogue or some shit. You
That's what I said, In Vogue.
No Escapes. You know, go find Brownstone. You find
Brownstone or something.
Somebody
they can beat.
Escape, man. Escape. It's you know, they no. I'll be back in a second. But yeah, we'll take this intermission to talk about how piss poor Escape is. They're the midnight. They're the Orient Express of R&B.
Damn, bro, the Orient Express.
Hey man, I came back off BB Dog and Escape out like that. Good grief. Hey man, let me go ahead and tell y'all what I would do. Straight up, I would actually get all the first run of X-Men at high grade. I would keep the collection that I have, fill all the holes that I would have, but I would get every last issue from issue 1 to 544 in high grade, and I would have them slab. I will go out and get every Bronze Age Marvel book, the entire run of each book. Luke Cage, Nova, Giant Man, Miss Marvel, all mid to high grade, but those wouldn't be slab. Those would just be for the collection. So I get every Bronze Age series that came out, even the Wood God, Brute, I would get him too. I would get me an Incredible Hulk 181 because I used to have that book, but I no longer have it.
Playing with a blank check, I'll probably buy 5 of them suckers, man.
Yeah. You ain't lying,
you know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea to buy a couple of them.
Right.
But I would definitely do that. 10.0 Canadian variant Star Wars #1. Hey, you got a blank check, make it happen. Iconic Point. Glad you made it, bro. But yeah, that's what I would do. My thing is, man, that Bronze Age, man, they had some really good books. I mean, especially like the Avengers during that time. The Avengers, in my opinion, had some of the best stories during that time frame. And one of my favorite stories was the Michael Korvac saga. Really good stuff. But that's what I would do personally. So, does anybody have any other individual books that they would be looking for?
So many I can name, man. So many.
Well, I made a list. I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all what my list is. And Matt, some of these are probably on your list too. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the two that I know that are on your list. Fast Willie Jackson, #1.
Yeah, you get you Fast Willie Jackson #1, man. Yeah.
And if anybody don't know what Fast Willie Jackson is, Fast Willie Jackson is the black version of Archie. And those books are so, like, the print run are so low. It's ridiculous. I think they had like maybe 15, 16 issues. And even like the middle of the road issues are like $70-80 a piece. That's how rare those books are. But Lobo the Black Cowboy, #1. Who that got a copy? He probably ain't not in the chat anymore. Battle of the Planets #1, which is the gold key, the one that came out in the 70s. Fat Albert #1. That's also a gold key comic book. Submariner #1. Incredible Hulk 234, which is the first appearance of Quasar. And there's a WWE book that came out in 2017. It's a version. Yep.
I knew it, man. 84 was showed that yesterday. I knew it. That's the cover I really want, bro. That's that Macho look at the shades. Oh man,
bro, that is a beautiful book, man. Have y'all seen that book?
You talking about you said WWF comic with Macho on the cover?
Yeah,
with him the orange background, he looking up with his shades on.
Oh my god, man, that book is so dope.
I think I got that, man. I think
you probably got it.
Yeah, I think that's in storage. Yeah, I think somebody had it in store and didn't realize. No, before it took off, it was sitting up on the shelf, and I believe I got it from Fat Boy.
Yeah, oh yeah,
yeah.
Snack.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, that book is like a dope. It is a dope, and it's not. I mean, aside from the artwork. It's not really like a major book or anything of that nature. It's just a dope cover. I'm trying to pull it up. Anybody else want to chime in before we go to our hauls?
Hey, I want to say this. For those who don't know, man, A&E every Sunday they're showing biographies on wrestlers, man, and they had like 2 or 3. They've showed 2 or 3 really good ones, especially the one with Macho Man was really good. So
I like the Roddy Piper one more. That shit had me amped up watching his old stuff, and Piper just he was a heat magnet, man.
Yep, Piper. It was so funny, man. Look at how Piper was off the camera versus him on the camera, and it just got like the same with Macho Man. Like you said, he just riled people up for the hell of it, man. And the heat that he had back then, man, back in the 80s was something else. Dark Side of the Ring, this Flying Brian one. Oh man,
I've seen those.
Oh man, yeah, that's it. Yep, that is a bad ass cover.
I've seen that book somewhere. I'm trying to think of where I've seen it at.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Well, we are at the end of the program. We are at our comic hauls. Does anyone have any hauls they would like to show this evening?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right, let's do it.
I'm gonna start off with some sexy.
Oh.
I think this Dirt 2 cover, Vampy Purgatory, issue #2. So issue #1 was a fun read, but again, the artwork inside it is a lot to be desired. You know, I mean, if you're gonna hit us with covers like this, you gotta have some great artwork inside it. This one I decided to give a shot, you know, because black character, and that's Eve #1 from Boom Studios.
Got it, yo.
My wife got that. She got like three different covers.
That looks pretty promising too, man. I read the synopsis of it. Looks pretty good.
Well, I can't wait to check that out. This was another one. I know Jeff said it was great. The Good Asian. I mean, the cover just drew me in, like some classic neo-noir cover. And, of course, it's Asian representation, so I definitely want to give that a read. Plus, the artwork inside was pretty good. It looked interesting. This was strictly a cover buy because I don't really buy this book, and when it comes to Marvel, I don't really check out this stuff. But this is the Marauders #20, and it's just classic Storm, Nightcrawler, and Kitty Pryde. So definitely brought this for the cover. Some G.I. Joe #280.
The Ferret.
I swear Larry Hammer's gonna write this series until he croaks, man. Because that's what it is. He is the very definition of G.I. Joe, and if it ain't Larry Hammer, then I ain't messing with it.
Hadn't he been writing it since like the 80s or something?
Yeah, since G.I. Joe #1.
Oh wow.
Yes, I was showing twins who that, but this one, of course, so excited to see her in this book. Green Lantern #2. The first issue was pretty good, but definitely want to see what this one's all about. And of course, it's got Joe in there. Gotta support it.
Got it.
It's a monster holding boobs with Vampy #19. And I got Amanda Conner and Jimmy Palmiotti's Invincible Red Sonja. Give that a try, Dave. Go ahead.
That first appearance of Red Sonja then took off too, man. Going to the moon.
Yeah, thanks to the character being in the movie and the casting of it.
Yeah, I was looking for that too.
We briefly mentioned this earlier. Nocterra #3. The first 2 issues was fine for me, but I want to see if this one holds up my attention because Scott Snyder's been hit or miss for me over the last few years, so I want to see how good this is. If not, then I don't know if I'll pick up the next issue. This is another series that's been kind of disappointing these last few issues, and that's ASM issue 65. Yeah, the King's Ransom storyline isn't as good as the previous 2 storylines, so. But, diehard Spider fan and me just want to keep getting it. Swamp Thing, I've been really enjoying the Swamp Thing series by Ram.
It's definitely a different take now.
Yeah, it really is. So it's been pretty good. Mentioned this earlier. Abbott 1973. This is issue #4.
Dude, I want to get into that book, man.
Get it, man. Get it. Get into this, man, because it's a really good story. I really enjoyed the supernatural element. Then the whole backstory with the stuff that she's going through as a journalist. They wanted to kind of not her. The new person in charge wants her to be more feminine-like, and she's like, nah, this is me. This is me all the way. I smoke cigarettes. I dress the way I dress, and I am who I am. So it's really enjoyable, really good stuff. Continuing to pick up Doom, House of Arteries.
How was that book?
I'm really enjoying it. It started out slow, but it's been getting better these last few issues. I mentioned this earlier. Shadow Doctor #3. Really enjoying this like reimagination of Al Capone.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that Al Capone?
Yeah, it's Al Capone, and this character here who becomes a doctor. He wants to become a doctor, but he's working with Al Capone to try and make ends meet. So there's certain things that happen in this issue.
So he's a little kid that wants to be a doctor.
Well, and that's just showing him as a kid, but in the book that he's already like a adult in his early 20s.
Okay.
because he knew Al Capone in his early adult, and then once he got into like the 30s, that's when Al Capone reappeared.
Gotcha.
You know. And Two Moons #3. Really good story. Really enjoying this, and I read this before the show started, and I love this issue so much. So, and then last but not least, I didn't get this when the Woman History comics with the Jim Bartel covers, but I was able to get the Hellcat from Iron Man.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. So that is all for me.
All right, Chris, you're up, sir.
Yep. I didn't make it to the comic shop, but I did end up getting some good stuff in that I've been waiting on. Finally got the Jen Bartel Marvel Tales Thanos cover that I've been waiting on. I got that. And I got a bunch of covers. But I went cover hunting, and when I was shopping, I was waiting on this order. Had to get the Deathstroke Wanted poster from Teen Titans. Nice. And then I got all the character covers for Teen Titans. So Red Arrow, Crash, Steve-O, I can't never remember his name. I keep wanting to call him Bouncing Boy, but I know that's not it. That's a Legion superhero character. But I got his. Got Genie's. And I got, which I think is a really great Kid Flash, especially how he's about to be on the TV show as Impulse, but I got him in his Kid Flash costume for the comic. And then Robin's to finish off the Teen Titans. Then I finally was able to hunt down an Iron Man cover that I really wanted. It's Iron Man #8 with him in the glass of alcohol.
Damn, boy, you can't get no lower than that.
Right? Let's see. Then I got this is actually a Hulk comic, but it's a Hulk Buster cover that I was waiting to get.
I like that one.
And then I lucked out on getting the J. Scott Campbell cover. So even though this is Venom #8, that's his X-Men cover for it that he did. That old school 90s X-Men.
I wonder does Larry have that much, because that actually hits a couple of cylinders right there.
Man,
for him.
Then I was able to pull off X-Men Black #1, the Mystique, the J. Scott Campbell Mystique cover. And the Emma Frost cover for X-Men Black #1.
Yeah, I got that. Well, I got them. Those were the one shots that had Juggernaut and Magneto. Yeah, I got those.
Then I was able to get the Every Mutant cover for this one, the connected covers. And they really do have every mutant, like they're all the villains anyway on there, from Mystique to Nimrod. I was able to really luck out and get this Red Hood Outlaws #33, like the Halloween cover with Red Hood. I was able to get that. I like the skull look. I wish they did a Venticular cover for it, because I think it would have been a little bit better for it to change, but I still love it nonetheless. Nightwing #53. While he was still suffering from amnesia. And then these are covers. See, Batman 986, the Batmobile blueprint cover.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, what is that now?
Batman Detective Comics 986.
And that's a variant?
It's one of the variant covers. They did 3. Because there's the Batmobile, and then there's the Batwing for $9.89 blueprint cover. And then for the Bat Cycle in $9.93.
Nice.
Yeah.
Those.
And then I actually did some old hunting and found some really cool stuff. I was able to pick up G-Man will be appreciative of the old stuff I picked up, because I picked up number 476 of Action Comics in pretty decent condition. I went even further back and found a Grimm's Ghost Stories comic. I hadn't even heard, but it looked interesting. Like, it's got the that old school feel and of mystery comics that Marvel used to do and everything. So I couldn't pass that up.
That company right there did a lot of Disney books back in the day.
Whitman. Yeah,
Whitman.
Picked up John Carter, Warlord of Mars. This movie may have been horrible, but who knows? I picked up Marvel Premiere number 26, Hercules, Present Hercules.
Smart man.
Found a Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery.
Boris Kojo.
Speaking of Eternals, this was actually in the stack of stuff I found that I hadn't even gone through and started cataloging some more. Found Eternals number 14.
There you go. Newsstand edition too, by the way.
Yeah, newsstand edition.
That's what's up.
Found Miss Marvel number 8.
Oh snap! Where'd you get that from?
It was in a box under my desk when I was cleaning up and was cataloging comic books. I came across both of these in the box. I totally forgot I'd even had these.
Wow.
Came across gold in my own house without knowing about it. A Ghost Rider Doctor Strange special number 1.
Like a $20 book.
And then Shauna appreciate I've been waiting, and they finally came in. My Far Sector comics finally came in. I was able to pick up Far Sector number 2, 3, number 5, number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 10. And I already got number 11 and number 1, so I'm only missing a couple of them from finishing my entire run of Far Sector comic books.
Nice.
And I thought it was
one more is coming out, man.
Yeah, and I thought it was in here, but I also found a Ghost Rider number 3 in my stuff.
Bronze Age.
Yeah, Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider comic.
Nice.
Found it and bagged and boarded it. Found some. Yeah. Imagine what you find when you actually go looking through your stuff. I've been collecting so long, I forgot I had stuff.
Well, I need to go back through mine to see if I got a giant size somewhere. So yeah.
See if you can find a giant size X-Men somewhere.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're in good condition too. I was really surprised. Let's take care of them.
Cool. All righty, Big Remo, you are next.
Okay, so this is stuff I picked up during the week, and then so from Sunday until New Comic Book Day, and then today. So this is the stack of stuff I got today when I went to that shop in question. So these were all dollar books, and then I'll show you. They're all dollar books, and then I'll show you the ones that were like cover price or back issue. I got Star Wars, the Luke Skywalker action figure variant for $1. Got this Invincible number 1. It's like a reprint probably or something.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah.
That damn Omni Man.
This is a hip hop cover, but it's got a little bit of rub on it. So it's $1. So I figured
I need that one.
Yeah, so I mean, there was
you ain't got that one, Al?
I ain't got that one yet.
I thought you already had that one.
And,
those are affordable right there. They still ain't, let they come out with a Hellcat movie.
They had like a little box on the ground, and it said hip hop variants. And that one was in there, and then I found this one, and I took it because it was in high grade. And my wife got one maybe like a week or so ago, but it's the Solo with the Action Bronson homage hip hop cover.
I ain't never seen that.
I'm gonna post some Action Bronson, man.
You like Action Bronson in the house. So,
yeah, I'm gonna post some Action Bronson.
So this is a Monsters Unleashed Kid Kaiju action figure variant. For $1.
How gonna her be on that sucker?
And this one was the ones I was pleasantly surprised to find was 2 copies of the Howard the Duck action figure variant.
Wow.
For $1.
Yep, they out there. If you look, dollar bin.
Yep. Dollar bin, man. I'm a true believer of the dollar bin.
Mm-hmm.
I done found too much gold in the dollar bin, so I've been looking for this one since it came out, but I found it today at the shop, so that's why I wasn't totally angry about what I seen. I got some other stuff, but I got this Children of the Atom #1 second print. I've been trying to find this for the last few weeks, and none of my shops had them locally, so I was glad I found this because I've been looking for it. So, Children of the Atom #1 second print. And then, like I said, I've been trying to get this whole Echo run in the Daredevil, the David Mack cover. So I just grab them just when I see them. So got issue 51, issue 54. These were all like in the back issue bin, so they're like $3 or whatever, $3.50. 54, 55. All Echo covers.
I like that cover, man. That's a dope cover.
Yeah, this one's nice, man.
Yeah, some great covers.
Looks like Rosario Dawson a little bit. Then I got this.
And that was before she was in the show.
Right? She could have totally played that part instead of being in there. But Champions 25 with the Viv Vision cover. And then this was in one of the back issue bins. This Captain America 38. Grab that one just because it looks kind of dope. And then, this one too, issue 52. The David Mack cover of Echo.
Dang, dude, draw his ass off.
Yeah. And then I got a mail call, and then I'll show you the rest of the book. So this is the closest I'm going to get to the Invincible Iron Man #9, the Age of the Apocalypse cover. You know, is it the Turcop variant or whatever? So I got a Thunderbolts #1.
Nice.
A couple of these just so because that's the closest I'm going to get. Make me feel like, because it's the closest thing to it looked like it, you know what I'm saying? So, like $1,000 book right now. So I got this in the mail too. This is found this online and everybody was tripping. I jumped on it real quick. This is Immortal Iron Fist #7. It's like a variant. It's got the Pirate Queen on the cover. Figure I'd jump on it before it goes crazy and everybody started looking for it.
You know they will.
Yeah, so add that to the collection. And then I went to one of my other LCSs and I went through some of the back issues. I'm on the reread kit, so I'm getting all that. But then I'm also interested in Iron Wars, and I'm a huge Punisher fan, so I know he had some of the Punisher War Machines in there. So I had heard people talking about it, so I was like, let me go see if my mind was right. But I found 2 copies of the 218 second print when Punisher gets the War Machine armor. So this is
nice.
A pretty nice book to have.
I'm still looking for that action figure.
I mean, too. I couldn't find it, man. That thing came out and it just dipped.
Just disappeared.
This showed up in the mail. I ordered this months ago, and they just finally sent it to me. So I don't even care, but just a little too late. And this was free from my LCS.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Got a couple of these, and then me and my wife went through this other spot, and they had these books pulled off to the side, but I found a couple of Something's Killing the Children. Issue 9 and 10, and then I got a 10 second print somewhere around here. Oh yeah. 10 second print. These were all cover price. They were just in the rack still, so.
Hey Rima, I remember during the Behind the Comics live stream, you were saying your wife was getting in the comics. She got a former pull list.
Yeah, man. She just started a pool list. Like she bought that Eve. She got the 1 in 10 which one did you get, babe? The 1 in 10. She got the 1 in 10, the A and B cover. Like she's all into that. And America Chavez, she going after that stuff. So I mean, hey,
that's awesome, man.
Whatever floats her boat. So once in future, I had been with the whole since the beginning, but I kind of fell off. I took it off my pool list, and then it started picking back up. So I went back and I had to fill in some holes that I had. I thought I had an issue 5, but I didn't. So I had to get an issue 5 of it. Issue 7.
It's a really great comic book if you like.
It is, man. It's real good, man. The first arc was good. When they went to Merlin, I just kind of thought it was going to get cheesy, but it's pretty good. So
yeah, it stood its ground. I give it credit.
I got the 9 second print, and then 11, and I'm up to like 17 or 18, I think it is. I have all of them, but I just did that. And then the same shop that I went to and got those Punisher War Machines, they had a couple of these, this New Mutant second one. I got the issue 1 and issue 2. These are pretty dope covers, man. Kind of look a little anime-ish, you know what I'm saying? The characters. But they're pretty sick, man. So they have a couple more. I'm going to go back and get some more next week. And he had them for like $3, so I got it jumped on them. And this is a Department of Truth issue 6, the Bill Sienkiewicz issue. I had got this when it first came out, but he didn't put it in my pool box, so I guess he found it and gave it to me. So glad to have that one. Just to have it, I like the cover. And then I got the director's cut of the War of the Bounty Hunters. And then I got the A cover. And then last but not least, I got Strange Academy 10. Getting all the issues on my pool list. So this is the 10th issue. I'll be honest with you, I haven't read since like issue like 5 or 6. So I got to catch up. But yeah, this is I got 1 through 10. So we'll see. And that's everything, man. Thank you for listening to me ramble.
No problem, sir. That's what friends are for. That's what Dionne Warwick said. So,
yes, sir.
All right. Generation X.
Is that the one from the video?
Yeah. All these are from the video.
Nice.
This is a back issue right here. I picked this one up in a dollar bin a few days ago. Barring one more, I have every annual for Generation X. I already completed the run for that volume, so I'm looking for one more annual for that particular volume 1 run of Generation X. I think it's like 96, not quite sure. X-Men Gold. Shouldn't be a no-brainer as to why I picked this up. My man, Colossus of Russia.
Her arm is massive.
Yeah, man, it's bigger than her body. Quasar, number 15, like 7-8 issues shy of that particular run. So once I get his first appearance in the Incredible Hulk, I'll be good. On to the new stuff. I just got this one. It was an impulse buy. Batman 108. Amazing, a miracle, miraculous model, whatever the hell her name is. So,
yeah, that
Crime Syndicate number 3. This has been a pretty good read, man. Like I said, I like the Crime Syndicate better than I like the Justice League. So, and then I jumped on the Eve bandwagon. Like I said, I read the synopsis and I thought it was a pretty good synopsis. So I got the A cover and the only other variant cover that my comic store has. This one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the 1 in 10 is like that, but it's a virgin.
Virgin, yeah. So, you know, I have to say it every time I get this one. Boy. God of War, Fallen God, issue number 3. I haven't read this one yet. So, The Good Asian, number 1. I actually like that copy, that variant that you got, Sean, for my LCS. Unfortunately, I don't think they got any variants for this book, so I just rolled with the A cover. This was I would go back and get this one at the store because I kind of scoffed at it at first.
Mm-hmm.
That right there, man, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I didn't get it. And if you're watching, yeah, I went back and got it. I watched Comics Explain this book, and it actually captured my attention. So I went back and I bought it and I read it. It's pretty decent. I tell you no lies. I was shocked. You know, they got, you know, the bootleg Wonder Woman, Power Princess from Squadron Supreme, but it's a pretty good read, man. So I think I'm gonna pick up issue 2 when it comes out. I'm hoping the variant covers are similar to this one because those A covers look like ugh.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I didn't buy it. I wasn't feeling that cover.
Okay, cool beans, Barbarian. I see. I hit you up. Speaking of Immortal Hulk, I got number 46, Alex Ross Goodness. This is winding down. They got 4 more issues, and then they're gonna wrap it up. And Barbarian, I could probably hit you up on Instagram just to send you a message to get those prices for you from you. Excuse me. Last but not least, got an AOK from the great Stone Cold Steve Whiting.
Mm-hmm.
Limited collector's edition, king size, 6 king size stories. How to draw, Shazam family, supersized pinup, special fun pages, 3D diorama cutout behind the scenes with CC Beck Shazam artists. This is who Sean was talking about with Captain Marvel. This is you see where it said behind his head, the original.
Yep.
Make no mistake about it. Anybody say Carol Danvers is the original Captain Marvel? You pimp slap him like Rick James pimp slap Charlie Murphy in that Dave Chappelle skit. I said it. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of this Joker. So thank you, Stone Cold. I know you're probably not in the chat anymore, but I really appreciate it, man. It's a beautiful thing, man, when people in the comic community know what you like and they see something and they get it for you, man. So that was really nice of you to do. I really
it's funny.
it.
We shared a clip of your video on the show earlier today.
Oh yeah,
of that book. Yeah.
Okay, cool beans.
Here comes the fire.
Yeah, I left Matt for the last because I'm sure he probably got some Dylon.
Yoga flame.
All right, right out the
Yoga
gate.
fire.
We got Star Wars Galaxy Edge #1 Disney variant.
Another one.
In the dollar bin. Yep, another one, dog. No, this is one of the ones I showed on my haul. DNA Agents 25, I believe. That's 24. I just like that cover.
Mm-hmm.
The 80s look.
Dave Stevens.
Yep.
You got that?
I got my. No. I paid 20 for that, man. They got that from Dave.
Oh.
Eve #1. This is sold out too, by the way. I don't think about this is sold out. I think they're going to do second print.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think my wife's going to end up having to get those slabs.
I got my Batman 108 too, Al. I just went ahead and grabbed it just because, I was like, might as well.
Yeah, me too.
It'll be $10,000 by the end of next week.
No.
And I was telling it too.
And yeah, exactly. That's one that's going to be slapped and gone. And last but not least, this is one that I got a while back. I don't know. I don't even think I showed this, and I just happened to pull it when I was grabbing my books. And this is a 6 printing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1. So, the 6th print. So,
wow.
Yep, good old days. They got that one from days a while back. So, and that's it, man. That's it.
Stop it, man. That can't be it, man.
That's it, bro.
That can't be it.
Hey, Sean, I am preparing myself. Hey, we didn't go to Dave's a couple weeks ago. So I probably would have had a truck if we went to Dave's, but we didn't go.
Man, I'm so used to your mega hauls.
Right.
Yeah, you probably won't get a mega haul like that until like the summer, man. When we go to the Comic Con, y'all got to come up, man. Hey Remo, I need you, and I need you.
Man.
We need y'all here, man.
I'm trying. I'm vaccinated now. I can go anywhere.
Hey,
come on,
what's
bro.
Funny? On my show, I'm talking about going back down Tampa and hang out with Steve and them because Jeff Schultz from Chicago is coming. And we found out today on my show that Geek Aficionado is coming down from Chicago as well.
Yeah, I heard him say something about that a couple weeks back that he was coming to Florida. He was coming to Orlando, though, right?
Yeah,
you're at John, right?
Yeah, so he's gonna hit up the theme parks, and then on the 22nd he wants to hang out with the Orlando or Florida crew. So we gonna meet up with him on the Saturday. Eat lunch and hit some shops. And then the following weekend, it'll be Jeff Schultz coming down. So we're going to go down to Tampa and hang out.
Yeah, Geek Aficionado, he's from Pennsylvania? Chicago. He's from Chicago, too. Okay.
Yeah, he's from the Chicago area.
Yeah. Let me throw this out there for y'all. People who have... I stayed up last night and watched a couple of episodes of Jupiter's Legacy. If you want something that'll just hold you over to Invincible Get Back, I suggest watching it. It's a little bit of it's good, but it's a slow burn. It's a slow burn. Now,
anybody watch the? I'm about to watch the movie with Michael B. Jordan. Anybody watch that?
I saw that.
I heard good reviews about it, man. I heard it was good. Then I heard it was slow. Then I heard it was good.
I'm gonna have to check.
I liked it.
I'm about to
watch.
It's
Tom Clancy, so I mean, I'm probably gonna like it because it's Tom Clancy anyway. So
the bad
Tom Clancy.
I love Tom Clancy.
I was hoping it was gonna be good.
Yeah, I love Tom Clancy, man. I need another Rainbow Six, man. A legit Rainbow Six, man.
Yeah.
Well, I just found out that the Atlanta Comic Con is the week before the MegaCon in Florida, and they already got a list of people for the Atlanta Comic Con, which includes Ron Perlman.
Oh, they must just drop that today.
Yeah, they just dropped it. Dave Bautista.
Read them off, Al. What we got?
Dave Bautista gonna be there?
Yep. Ron Perlman.
Is he gonna be at MegaCon?
Well, apparently he's running double duty. He gonna do Atlanta that week and Florida the next. But Dave Bautista, Ron Perlman, Amy Jo Johnson, the Yellow Power Ranger, Kel Mitchell, and more for right now. Chris Claremont is rap, man. I'm gonna be there yesterday. So but yeah, man, we need to link up, man. All of us need to form like Voltron.
What month is that? That's in August?
It's August. It's the MegaCon is the week after.
Atlanta Comic Con.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll make something happen, man. We can make something happen.
We'll get it figured out.
Yeah, we'll make it happen. But great show tonight, y'all. We appreciate all our viewers for sticking in. We didn't go as long as we normally do. That's a good thing. But sometimes when we talk, we talk. Yeah. But keep abreast of what's going on the channel. We have some more haul videos coming. Of course, live streams and everything. Check us out on IG Comic Hall Roundtable. Check everybody out their respective IGs. I'm not on IG for the minute. I had to leave it alone, but I'll be coming back. Like I said on my post, Frosty the Snowman. I'll be back again one day. But that's gonna do it for everybody. For myself, for Sean, Remo, Chris, Matt. This is Al, aka Dusty Brick Brown, with the Comic Hall Roundtable discussion. We appreciate your viewership. Y'all know some people that are not subscribed to Sean's channel. Go ahead and tell them you got some good stuff over there. Tell them to come over here too. We got some good stuff. Chris got a podcast called Outcast United. Check him out. They also have an IG page. Go check them out. Yeah. So for the most part, I ain't got really nothing else to say. So with that being said, y'all have a beautiful evening and a great weekend, and we'll see y'all later.
Later.
Later.